A good example, the husband of Akunyele that was murdered brutally somewhere in Anambra State. I found her, I saw, graphic, video that Nigerians were videoing that man. While he was shot, he was still struggling for life. And I could remember that I saw that graphic, picture where he was trying to pull off, maybe the glasses he was wearing with blood all over his body. Nobody came to his rescue. It was a gory sight. Now, quite not about, I think last year, along the NTA road, this they call it, I don't know what they call this people that carry this waste. A waste bin vehicle, very heavy duty vehicle, was parked almost occupying half of the road. For close to 2 months, that particular truck was parked on that particular section of the road. When I drive past, I say, look, until something happened, nobody will take this truck out of this place. Unfortunately, young boys from University of Port Harcourt who went to club on that, it made viral, just the way this one is making a viral, headlines. They ran into it in the night, and the 3 or 5 of them were all dead. You understand? Reported. I saw the gory picture. Do you know what happened? Within 1 hour after that incident, that particular truck was taken out.
Have you heard it?
You understand? In Lagos, there was a billboard that was hanging precariously, dangerously on what they use is the slang they use in holding for close to 6 months. Nobody went there. Nigerians were just careless, moving under it. At the end of the day, when that thing fell, it killed about 6 people. Government came and rectified. In Nigeria here, people build houses under high tension wire. If you go to some of the conurbations and suburb here, you're going to see people building houses under the high tension wire that goes with so many volts. I don't know, I'm not an electrician or whatever. So what I'm trying to say, we are very carefree when it comes to the issue of life, talk less of saving lives. I have been attacked in Port Harcourt. We called the police to come to our rescue about 5 years ago in my house. In our neighborhood, they did not arrive at the scene until 3 hours after the robbers were preparing to leave the scene. So we have this kind of gory stories and very emotional stories pervading the landscape of Nigeria. So when you look at what happened, that a panel has been set up, after the death of a life, after the death of that doctor or whatever the case may be. Let me tell you, if not because of the fact that the person involved is a high profile, a personality, a medical doctor, and happening in a place that is a medical portal CTC, many people will never hear about this. It will just be one of the stories that will normally hear and people will go about it. But what they are doing with it, do you know why they have not released the names? Because bureaucratic, bottlenecks. They'll tell you that when the panel sit, the government has to do what? Doctor the report, then come out with what they call a white paper. That is the reason why they are doing all these things now. So until and unless government took that particular report, then they go through it. If they look at the areas that we give them bad image, they try and censor it and maybe take it out, then do what they call a white paper. Just like what happened during the NSAS a probe or whatever panel that was set up in Lagos. So ordinarily and naturally, the Nigerian state, we Nigerians, we don't care. People look at somebody being knocked down by a vehicle, they run away, they begin to capture this on cameras and whatever. Even if you call the ambulance or whatever, for the next 6 hours they will not come in there. So it's unfortunate.
Which ambulance?
Maybe, I don't know.
Which
maybe private ambulance, for instance.
Because
maybe
the emergency services in Rivers State,
are they working?
They are practically dead.
They are dead. So this young girl that just lost her life, it's unfortunate, that she did lose her life in that manner. You understand? Like, I have been to some public buildings in Nigeria. Even if the lift is working, I look at the lift and say, no, let me jog, let me just slide myself and walk and climb about 500 staircase, and it'll be better if I faint in between. Let it happen that I want to go to mountain Everest.
Somebody may see you on their way down.
So that is the situation, Kelly. Please, we have to do something about this. I don't know how. See, a man told me that. See, one guy, a young man came and said, "Look, he stayed abroad." He said, "I have found out that Nigeria, apart from Afghanistan, is the most dangerous place to live. One of the most dangerous places to live on earth." I asked him, "Say why?" He said, "One, stray bullet can kill you. A vehicle trucks can ram into market and kill people. You understand the point? Then you see gangsters can come in and shoot. Bandits will come and kill. Electricity will fall. Transformer will blow. People will die. Fire here and there. And government does nothing about it." So he has said that Nigeria is one of the most dangerous places after Afghanistan that to live in the world. And I'm thinking aloud whether it's right or not.
Okay.
As case may be. It's unfortunate.
What did Chimenem Esquire, legal advisor, Pandef, Obiakpo chapter, and a voice for a Kinibo clan of Apara people, Obiakpo. Good morning to you, sir.
Thank you, Kelly. Kelly, thank you for bringing me. Chief, I salute you, all the panelists. Thank God for...
When you hear that a government says, we're investigating, we're done with our initial investigation, but we cannot reveal the name of the company that managed that facility, does it give you a feeling of someone being sincere?
Well, government is every government could be documents that we have seen so far, especially when it has to do with governance. Most of the documentary evidence have shown that most of the operation of governance have been covert or overt. And when you see situations like this, you don't expect them to make a quick inquest. They must be very careful, pointing to the fact that it could affect them. And within this space, I may not be privy to the contract, because when it has to do with a firm that is managing such a thing, then you begin to ask yourself, what are they? It is a professional negligence on the part of government, because government ought to maintain that lift to the length and breadth of a lift. And I think it's a government agency, that particular place or where that occurrence happened, then it means that government ought to have, because we know that in governance, just as we have River State government, we have the technical department, you have various departments, and all of these are under the civil service. They pay them. So the question we should be asking, what are the factors that are jaundicing them not to go and look at these things? Because ordinarily they ought to be check and balances. And that brings to the fore, this is what the kind of practice we have in Nigeria, where people don't care. When you go to most of those departments, of course, you don't see anybody working there. People are doing other businesses. I went to a school where I left my alma mater for some years, and I saw that the teachers are selling bonds, doing other things. They don't care. I don't think any of them came with, to that school with a book. What they do is that they come Friday, come with what they sell, pancake, the local this thing, and sell to the pupils. So what the people are learning is that if they come, they collect money from their parents, they know that they're going to eat pancake. So at the end of the day, what do you expect when such students, go to other contemporary universities where they have to compete? Maybe
it's also the responsibility of the government to see that who has a job to do does this job.
Thank you. And that is why I say, look, do you blame Sanwo-Olu? When there is no organogram, policy direction. I was looking at what is going on in Colombia, where you have Pedro Gustavo, the president of Colombia, recently came out with a model, and the model was not good. The minister surrounded him and told him, look, we need to create incentive in Colombia so that we don't run the way of Venezuela. Right now, Nigeria is running the way of Venezuela. The reason is that what we depend on is oil economy. And when a country depends so much on petroleum, you are bound to fail. Now, who checkmates? Lagos is like a model. Sometimes we refer to Lagos. We say, God, they are doing well. They are doing like this. Now, there has to be a quick response. Why I said it could be covert. Most of the documents in governance are covert or overt is because when you see incident like this that has to, where the public attention will be called in, what government will do is to classify such information. They don't bring it to the public podium so that you don't take them to the sepulchre. Carefully, you don't blame Sanwo-Olu at this point. The people you blame is that who are the people that are checkmating these ministries? This government don't stay at home. They travel on daily basis. It's like what is going on now, right now in Niger. The government has started covering its borders, telling people, look, before Nigeria will come in, please cover the border. And our people, Sokoto, most states that are close to that place are already suffering. So it means that we don't even know what is going on in Nigeria. That somebody can walk in with a pigeon to Nigeria, just trek and enter. You are even a citizen already. Nobody cares. So this boils down to ministries too. The level of professional negligence being administered by governance is alarming. Now, it's more than how many hours? No statement has been released. And this is a state, the first colonial state, wherein, at least if it is Ebonyi State or any other state, I would have said they are still at their infantry stage. Maybe they don't have such ministry that will announce such a thing. But it's careless in terms of governance. Most of the covert, files, as I speak to you, this thing will die on arrival. Remember, after the NSAS saga, after some months, we have years now, we have forgotten it. Before you know, we started hearing that there will be mass burial. And who are these people that they want to bury? So Nigeria is like, should I say an animal farm? Let me liken it to animal farm, where you have some animals that are bigger than some animals. All we can do here is to talk. But I think where there is a proper check and balance, I tell you, it won't go like that. It will not be swept into the carpet. I was citing the government of Pedro Gustavo. Recently, the minister had to clamp on him, say, look, please, let us create incentive to the labor. The labor NLC we have today, not the compromised ones. Let us create NLC through the labor, because the labor can reach, they are close to the people, instead of using local government or what we call the council. What he did was, because the council, the ministers were on him. How many ministers are ready to confront the president? How many of the commissioners are ready to meet Sanwo-Olu? Even the commissioner for works, who is supposed to, that management, or commissioner for special duty. What if the company is his company? He said what? What if the company is his company? That is why I said all these things are classified. Because what they are doing, look, when these governments come on board, they come with some of them have close to 26 companies. I can tell you of a governor who was embarking on a road. The company that came was actually a company that is known in Nigeria, but it was running on disguise. Unknown to people that were living in the north. It was not actually the company. What they did was to disguise. It was upon cross-examination, because what they did, there was professional negligence, mass professional negligence. The matter was taken to court. It was at the cross-examination level that they had to unbundle what was going on. That virtually all the companies that have been used in that state is owned by the governor of that state. So what level of, you can see the level of criminality. Nobody cares. Go to the ministry, just take a walk to each ministry. Nothing is functioning. Nothing.
I can only just...
So I will suggest, let the lady, I don't know if she's alive or
she's dead.
Thank you. Well, let her repose. Let God accept her.
You would
because as I speak now, nobody, and it's still one thing with government, it's a very big body. They have people that when it comes to crime, you can, of course, there's a lot of things that you can hallow them for. At this point, if anything happens, nobody cares. They will they will classify the register. And even if there is an autopsy, it could be they will just tell it's a mechanical fault. Which mechanical fault? Whose fault? And are they supposed to even hire an external agency when you have a technical department
that they installed
within the
in
ministry?
2021? A lift that they installed in 2021?
The point is this, there's corruption. It's palpable.
Yes.
In every part of the society in Nigeria. You understand? Corruption is more or less like a perennial, a plague. That is affecting Nigeria. And there's nothing you are going to do about this. Okay, for instance, you know why?
We have to go for the news.
Okay, no problem. Okay,
we have to go for the news.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
It's just sad. You want to imagine what her parents are going through at this time. Her loved ones, future, everything cut short. And the government would come out with this statement. The news update is around the corner. Please stay with us.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
A very good morning to you. Here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kelly Ikemenjima. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has urged residents of the state to join in marketing the state to the rest of the world rather than portray it in negative light. The governor made the call at the Thanksgiving service, St. Philip's Anglican Church, Origwe, yesterday. He charged the church to begin to use some of their sessions to tell the rest of the country how peaceful and conducive the state is to live and to do business. He said the campaign to portray the state positively should not be left for the government alone to do, but embraced by everybody in order to overwhelm those talking down on the state. The Independent National Electoral Commission will deploy over 11,000 bimodal voter accreditation system machines for voter accreditation in the November 11 governorship elections in Kogi, Bayelsa, and Imo State. According to INEC, Bayelsa State has 2,244,000 polling units. Kogi has more than 3,500 polling units. Imo has over 4,700 polling units. It would be recalled that the presidential and National Assembly elections held on February 25, 2023 were marred by the beavers malfunctioning. However, the Commission, during reviews of the 2023 polls, insisted that the deployed beavers recorded a 98% success rate. The Nigerian Navy has burst an illegal oil refining depot in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, where about 35,000 liters of illegally stored crude oil was discovered. While the suspects are on the run, the buildings used for the refining have now been sealed by Operation Delta Safe in the state. Addressing newsmen after the operation, the head of the team in the Niger Delta, Rodney Solomon, said the team will not relent in its efforts to rid the area of criminals whose activities are harmful to the nation's economy. On the foreign scene, Niger's military rulers have announced that they have closed the country's airspace indefinitely, citing the threat of military intervention from regional bloc ECOWAS after coup leaders rejected a deadline to reinstate the country's ousted president. The country's new rulers warned that any attempt to violate the ban would meet with what they call an energetic and immediate response. The announcement came as a deadline from the West African bloc ECOWAS for them to hand back power to the democratically elected president Mohamed Bazoum expired yesterday. And that's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kelly Ikemenjima. Good morning. Thank you for your time.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Hello, welcome to this live transforming online business education program on radio, where we share the latest information on the benefits of e-business. Raleigh Academy on Radio is a program with an ultimate goal to equip anyone in search of a genuine opportunity to create a new stream of income or add to their current stream or streams of income. Raleigh Academy is a reputable organization that offers educational services in online businesses and financial education. In today's episode of the program, we'll be looking at joining the automation revolution. And in the studio with me to answer all the questions is an e-trader and an online entrepreneur with Raleigh Academy. My guest was trained at the London Business School, the London School of Business and Finance, and the London Academy of Trading. He has certification in technical analysis from Cyprus. He has gathered over 12 years of hands-on experience in financial trading and technical analysis. This man has consistently organized several hours of webinars, seminars, workshops, coachings, all on trading and financial market analysis. I must say he's a master of his trade. And it's my pleasure to introduce my guest, Michael Akinwale. Michael, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much. It's a beautiful time to be on the studio today.
Now, we have a very interesting topic today, joining the automation revolution. But first, let's understand what the automation revolution is about.
Okay, let me take it from the top. You know, if you watch history very well, we started with what they call the Industrial Revolution, where men were using machines to actually for product production. And then we move to what we call the Information Revolution, and which is what we call the Computer Revolution.
But now we are moving to what they call the automation revolution, in which businesses and production processes are now being fully automated. We're actually calling it now the intelligent automation, what we call artificial intelligence. Okay, it is actually a system that facilitates everyday tasks and remove human interference in every form from production. All right, or what we can say, the application of machines to perform tasks without any human being taking part. All right, and you see, it's no longer news now. For instance, we have cars that drive themselves.
Okay.
You know, I'm aware that Uber, for instance, has a taxi system that the cars actually don't have drivers in them. Then we also have, for instance, in Dubai. Dubai has the longest metro train system that has no driver. It's driverless. It's been running for over 10 years now without any problem. And then even these days, if you go on websites and you want to chat, most of the time you don't chat with human beings again. You are chatting what they call chat bots, artificial intelligence. And now we even have a website called ChatGPT, which is an open AI platform that can help you to solve any problem that you have when it comes to any information, any question you have. So basically, this automation system has come to stay, and I think is the future when it comes to doing business online.
Michael, this is sounding very, very intriguing.
Yeah.
Why is it important to join the automation revolution?
Well, I think it's basically because history actually repeats itself. Let me say that again. History repeats itself. We have known from history, for instance, that every time there is a new revolution, a lot of millionaires are made. What do I mean? Every time technology is about to shift, millionaires are being made. For instance, it was during the Industrial Revolution that people like Henry Ford became billionaires. It was during the time of information revolution with the computers that people like Bill Gates became billionaires. As I'm talking to you now, we are moving into the automation revolution. A lot of millionaires and billionaires are about to be made. It's time for you to plug in, which actually means that most of our labor, as we go into the future, is going to be substituted by machines. All right? And you see, data has now shown that in the next few years, the global GDP from automation will grow by 1.2% annually. And that's a lot. That's about $1 trillion growth in annual GDP on automation.
Wow.
So everybody who is listening to me now, who is awake, who is aware, who understands history, needs to plug into the system now to see how they can use it to start changing their financial fortune.
Okay, so let's bring it home a bit. What are some of the businesses that Nigerians can engage in that can also be automated?
Okay, there are several businesses that Nigerians can do now that can be automated, and I'm going to be talking about the simple ones. So you don't have to be a computer guru, a computer wizard to do them. Very simple ones. Take scenario, we have what they call YouTube automation. Then we have a business like e-trading. We have a business like affiliate marketing. Now, because of time, let me quickly just break down these ones. Take YouTube automation as a case study. YouTube automation is actually a way in which you can create videos and manage videos in your YouTube channel without you personally appearing in any video. And what this does is that it allows you to earn money from your YouTube channel without your physical presence at all. And the bit of this business is that it's residual. Mainly you set it up, it starts generating money, and you can start earning as much as $5,000 monthly from this system, and it's 100% automated, which means you can be sleeping at home and it's making money for you. Secondly, let's look at dropshipping. Dropshipping is an order fulfillment method in e-commerce. It's like what we call automated e-commerce, where you can outsource inventory holding and order processing to a third party. So immediately you set up the system, everything is managed by other people. You don't do anything. All right? And so you're able to use technology to run this process in such a way that from anywhere you are, you can run it. And it's a very attractive business because you don't need much money to start. Because the product you are even selling, you don't have it. You don't own it. It's with somebody else. Are you getting me now? So it allows you to start this business very easily from anywhere in the world. Then let's go into e-trading. E-trading is the online buying and selling of financial instruments. All right? In a bid to make a profit. When we say financial instruments, we're looking at things like currencies, commodities, indices, and a lot of them. And for us to understand it very well, let me take a case study. Let's look at a commodity like gold. I think everybody should know what gold is. The same gold that actually people wear as jewelry.
Yeah.
This same gold is a commodity. And because it's a commodity, it is tradable. Anything that has a value is tradable. And that's why even money itself is tradable. Are you getting what I'm saying now?
Okay.
So let's take gold as a case study. Last month, gold fell from $1,860 per gram to $1,800 per gram. That's a $160 drop in the price of gold. Now, to us in the financial market, that's 1,600 points drop in the price of gold. If anybody sold gold beginning of last month at $10 per point movement, by now that person should have made at least $16,000 from gold. And the beauty of this is that as you are trading gold, you can be trading crude oil, you can be trading silver, you can be trading currencies. Are you getting me now?
Yeah.
And thank God for automation. with these days, you don't even have to sit down with it. You can automate all this process. So while you are sleeping, while you are busy with other businesses, all this is happening, for you in the financial market, and you don't have to do anything. That's the power that automation has brought, and I think people need to plug in now very fast.
Okay, Michael, I'm blown away already. How can a person start these businesses?
Okay, it's quite very simple. To start these businesses, I always recommend that people get the right training. When I say it's not even just training, that people get the right training on these businesses, all right? And not just about these businesses, how to automate these businesses so that you can move to the realm, where we are moving to in the future, all right? And that's why Academy is here. Okay. We have a specialized conference that we're organizing right now titled the E-Business Automation Conference. The E-Business Automation Conference. And at this conference, we're going to be training you, we're going to be informing you, and we're also going to educate you on the opportunities in all these businesses, all right? We're going to be looking at automation in YouTube automation, we're looking at drop shipping, we're going to look at e-trading, we're going to look at affiliate marketing, and several other businesses that you can automate right now and start generating good income for yourself, all right? And then we're going to be putting in your hands the softwares that you need to automate these businesses. Because to automate a business, there are softwares that you will need. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So we're going to be giving you these softwares at this training, all right? Whether those softwares are fully automated, whether they are manual softwares, we're going to be helping you to start studying at this training. And I can tell you, it's a training you cannot afford to miss.
Now, this sounds like a power-packed training, Michael, if you ask me.
Yes.
How much does it cost to attend this e-business automation conference, and who can attend it?
Okay, let me start from the top about who can attend it. The truth of the matter is that anybody that is interested in generating income right now using the most recent computer technology can attend this training. Let me tell that again. Anybody who is interested in generating income right now using the latest computer technology should be at this training. And you don't have to be a computer guru. As long as you can use your phone, be at this training, and you can actually begin to generate side income while you are doing other things you are doing. And guess what? This conference is coming absolutely free to Nigerians. You pay nothing to attend this training. And you can be a businessman, an employee, an investor, retiree, you're a job seeker, you're a housewife. No matter how you are, even if you're a student, be at this training, come and discover how you can actually begin to automate your businesses, how you can begin to generate new source of income for yourself, and it's absolutely free of charge.
So can you give us the dates, the venue, and the time of this conference, and how participants can register to attend?
The conference will take place for 2 days right here in the city of Port Harcourt. And the date this conference is going to be taking place is this Thursday 10th and Friday, the 11th of August, 2023. Let me add again, this week Thursday 10th and Friday, the 11th of August, 2023. On these 2 days, the time will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So 3 hours of very, very life-changing time. And the venue of the event on those 2 days will be at the Rally Academy. The Rally Academy, second floor, City View House, number 26, Abba Road, by Market Junction. Right here in the city of Port Harcourt. The Rally Academy, second floor, City View House, number 26, Abba Road, by Market Junction. Right here in the city of Port Harcourt. Very popular place, I can tell you. You cannot miss it. It's very important that you register to be at this event so we know you are coming and we can prepare for you. And to register is simple. Send an SMS to your phone number, then your seat will be reserved to be at this event. So take your phone right now. Let me show you how to register. If you want to register to attend on the first day, which is Thursday, the 10th of August, 2023, send an SMS to the word PH1. PH is short for Port Harcourt, and the number to this phone number 091 6466 0000. Let me take that phone number again 091 6466 0000. And if you want to register to attend on the second day, which is Friday, the 11th of August, 2023, send an SMS to the word PH2. PH is short for Port Harcourt, and the number 2 to the same phone number 091 6466 0000. Let me take that phone number again 091 6466 0000. Thank you.
What else would participants benefit at this conference?
Well, it's already power packed, but there are still other things who are going to benefit. And the activities, the first is that all participants at this training, you're going to be going on with an educational DVD. In this DVD, there are videos on trainings on these online businesses. You can keep learning when you get home. All right? So we're going to be giving this DVD to the first 100 people to register to attend this event. So begin to register now to come and pick up your DVD. Secondly is that we are going to be giving out our 123% bonus. This is year 2023. We are giving out about 123% bonus. This bonus is cost to at least 123,000 naira. that's going to be credited to people's trading account. This one is actually for e-trading. It's going to be credited to people's trading account for them to start the business of e-trading at this conference. Thirdly, is that we're going to be giving out free domain and free hosting for those that want to do their automated e-businesses. Are you getting me now? We're going to be giving out free domain and free hosting. So be at this event, pick up your DVD, pick up your bonus, pick up your free domain and hosting, and I can tell you, we can still make this year, 2023, very great.
All right, so Raleigh Academy is out to make Nigerians wealthy with good quality business education. Tell us again the date, the venue, and the time for this conference, and how participants can register to attend.
The conference will take place for 2 days, right here in the city of Port Harcourt. And the date this conference is going to be taking place is this Thursday 10th and Friday, the 11th of August, 2023. Remember that again, this week Thursday 10th and Friday, the 11th of August, 2023. On these 2 days, the time will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So 3 hours of very, very life-changing time. And the venue of the event on those 2 days will be at the Raleigh Academy. The Raleigh Academy, 2nd floor, City View House, number 26, Abba Road, by Market Junction. Right here in the city of Port Harcourt. The Raleigh Academy, 2nd floor, City View House, number 26, Abba Road, by Market Junction. Right here in the city of Port Harcourt. Very popular place, I can tell you. You cannot miss it. It's very important that you register to be at this event so we know you are coming and we can prepare for you. And to register is simple. Send an SMS to your phone number, then your seat will be reserved to be at this event. So take your phone right now. Let me show you how to register. If you want to register to attend on the first day, which is Thursday, the 10th of August, 2023, send an SMS to the word PH1. PH is short for Port Harcourt, and the number to this phone number 091 6466 0000. Let me take that phone number again 091 6466 0000. And if you want to register to attend on the second day, which is Friday, the 11th of August, 2023, send an SMS to the word PH2. PH is short for Port Harcourt, and the number 2 to the same phone number 091 6466 0000. Let me take that phone number again 091 6466 0000. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Michael Akinwale, for coming on the program today.
Thank you so much.
It's been great having you share this great business insights with us today. Well, he almost said it all. There's a wealth revolution going on, and only people who can key in now can share success stories in the near future. Who do you want to be? An observer or someone who will have a success story to share in the future? Seize this opportunity and join the train. Bye for now.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Please listen to this announcement. The annual general meeting of the Nigerian Institute of Architects Rivers State Chapter holds as follows. Date,
Monday, August 7, 2023.
Venue, Chapter Secretariat, number 10 Abuja Lane, D-Line, Port Harcourt. Time, 12 p.m. prompt. All architects are expected to attend. Signed, Architect Dumbari Nna, MNIA, PRO, River State Chapter.
It's a new day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day in the garden city of Port Harcourt, River State, Nigeria. How are you doing? Today 95.1 FM is here for you all day long. Cheers to a wonderful day. Stay tuned.
Officer, take. Officer, give me number. No time. Ma dey match am, dey go.
What? You bribing the officer of the law? You're under arrest. Let me see your papers. You can go. They're in order. Drive safe, okay?
I don't understand though. No be the same country again. Officer reject bribe. Mona wake me. They arrest me yesterday. That yesterday. I go do my papers. See as I pass now. I pass without fear. You too. Make you do wetin dey right. for we country to better, e dey for we hand. If you like, do like say you no hear am. To give or to take bribe na offense.
Una don hear am, abi? You hear am too, abi? You hear am. You hear am well. They themselves, they hear am. They hear am. Now the voice of the people. Now him bring this message give una. Today 95.1 FM. Now we be the voice of the people.
I am a proud Nigerian. I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
At my back, I ain't coming back.
The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
I will not complain. I will not criticize. Rather, I will use my skills, gifts, relationships,
and experience to find long-lasting and revolutionary solutions to the many challenges confronting Nigeria.
Nigeria will rise again.
Because I am here, I will leave this nation
a better place than I met it. I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth.
I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth. So help me God.
Let me tell you how I got this far.
This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
We thank you so much for staying with us. Today's question, Today 95.1 FM. Let's turn our attention to opinion poll. The event around Niger is quite interesting. We'll look at that as part of the stories we'll look at on opinion poll. But let's take a look at the story from the Punch newspaper. That's where we'll begin from. On Friday, I saw the celebration by Festus Keyamo when his name was finally announced as the 48th minister nominee from President Tinubu. I think it was screened on Saturday. Someone remind me if that happened, because I'm not gonna lie, this weekend I didn't pay attention to the news. So, as anything people want to do, just as long as we are not made to run, we're fine. We'll catch up. So I didn't pay attention. You just hear, and then you move on. So this is the story. Bloated structure. Tinubu, new governors to get 48 ministers, 560 commissioners. This is, of course, across the state. Yeah. President makes history with ministerial nominees, 20 senior special advisors, economists. Others say bloated cabinets wasteful. Amid concerns around the high cost of governance, the 48 ministerial nominees whose names were forwarded to the Senate for clearance by President Bola Tinubu and about 560 commissioners designate in 27 states of the Federation where elections held in May this year may cost the country about 23.4 billion naira in salaries. Findings by Saturday Punch have shown. The figure, based on the recommended salaries and allowances for ministers and commissioners by the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Allocation Commission, Aside from the annual basic salaries, the figure includes such as allowances for accommodation, 200% of basic salary. Domestic staff, 75% of basic salary. Utilities, 30% of basic salaries. This is for ministers. House maintenance, 5% of basic salary. Wardrobe, 25% of basic salary. Furniture, 300% of basic salary. Motor vehicle fueling allowance. 75% of basic salary. And entertainment allowance is 45% of basic salary, among others. The furniture allowance is paid once every 4 years. Tinubu has set the record for the highest number of ministerial nominees in Nigeria's Fourth Republic 1999 to date, with 48, which experts say would likely worsen the high governance cost. The president's nominees topped 42 appointed by his predecessor Muhammadu Buhari in 2019 by 5 more persons. A week ago, Tinubu had nominated 28 persons to be cleared by the Senate as ministers. On Wednesday, the president sent another list of 19, making a total of 47. By Friday, he had withdrawn the nomination of Miriam Shetty. Caused a bit of a drama. I think Ganduje was even mocking her. Ganduje is having the time of his life. He's really having the time of his life. He doesn't know how her name got into the ministerial list. Well, I have feelings that he actually made that nomination. Anyway, let's move on. And replaced her with Dr. Mahmoud Bukure, also from Kano State. He also added the name of Festus Keyamo, that is President Tinubu now. Keyamo, a senior advocate of Nigeria from Delta State, as a nominee for screening. Despite calls to reduce the cost of governance, Tinubu has now surpassed Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, Jonathan, Buhari to name 48 would-be ministers, setting a new record since the country returned to democracy 24 years ago. Saturday Punch learned that the total salary and allowances for each minister amounts to 11.85 million naira annually, plus a furniture allowance of 6.08 million naira that would be paid once in 4 years. Based on the Revenue Mobilization Fiscal Allocation Commission template, each minister is expected to earn a total of 650,000 naira and some fractions monthly, or 7 million naira annually and some fractions. That's almost 8 million annually, or 31,206,560 naira in 4 years. But when allowances for furniture and accommodation are added, it amounts to 53.49 million naira in 4 years, which translates to 2.57 billion for the 48 members that will make Tinubu's cabinet. However, the immediate past Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, said on Channels Television that May 1, 2023, his and other ministers' monthly salary was at 942,000 naira after taxation. This adds to 11,304,000 annually. When accommodation allowance of 4 million plus annually is added, or 16,211,200 in 4 years, and furniture allowance of 6,079,200 added to the salary, it amounts to 67,506,400 in 4 years. When multiplied by the 48 ministerial nominees, the country may likely spend 3.2 billion on Tinubu's ministers in 4 years. He said, "My salary is 942,000 a month. This is my salary with my PA. This is the total tax. This is the total after tax. My feeding, my transport, the transport of one PA, the salaries of my gardener and my cook. They are all consolidated. And after huge taxation, they pay me 900. After huge taxation, they pay me 942,000 every year. You see, that is what you will see. The special advisors get around that amount too. So special advisors will get almost the same amount with the minister. Let's look at that of the special advisor. He went on to elaborate the figures. However, there are provisions for duty tour allowances, 35,000 per night, ESTA code of $900 per night, unspecified medical allowance, a leave allowance of 202,640 annually, severance package of 6 million after successful completion of tenure, and an optional motor vehicle loan of 8 million to be repaid before expiration of tenure, which are not added to the total pay. For a special advisor to the president, the Revenue Mobilization Commission puts the monthly pay at 590,000. If you look at the fractions, you can say 591,000 or 7 million annually, in addition to 3.8 million annually for accommodation, 5.8 million for furniture allowance, payable once in 4 years. That means for each special advisor, the country is likely to spend 49.7. That's 49,737,600. The president recently saw the approval of the Senate to appoint 20 special advisors. That has been increased already now because he added some more names recently. However, the special advisors will earn other allowances, including 25,000 naira per night for duty tour, $800 ESTA codes, unspecified amount for medicals, severance gratuity of 5 million and some fractions, optional motor vehicle loan of 7 million and some fractions. When added together, the president's ministers and special advisors will earn from the treasury a minimum of 4 million naira in 4 years. In June, the commission recommended an upward review in the basic salaries of political and judicial office holders. Let's come to commissioners now. Saturday Punch could not obtain the number of commissioners for Yobe and some other states, but as stipulated by the commission, each commissioner is expected to earn about 7.56 million naira annually, alongside a furniture allowance of 4 million that will be paid once in 4 years. It means each commissioner would earn 4.8 million as basic salary annually, and a total of 19 million in 4 years, plus accommodation allowance of 2 million. That's 2.6 million annually for over 4 years at 10,697,800. Furniture allowance 4 million, leave allowance 133,722 in 12 months for over 4 years. Each commissioner is expected to get a total of 34.25 million naira in 4 years, which means that for now 560 commissioners would be getting 19.2 billion naira. So I asked a pretty sarcastic question on social media. Any surprise why Festus Keyamo celebrated his last-minute announcement as minister in Tinubu's cabinet? He will make the 48th minister nominee for Tinubu. I'm not sure if he has been screened. He has been screened there on Saturday. Today? Okay.
I think so.
Because I think on Saturday they said the last screening was moved to
should be
today. Okay. So my question is simple here. Our government is big. We spend a lot of money to service our government, from the federal to the states, at least from federal to the state. Local government we don't even hear. That one is another matter entirely. Can this money be said to be justified? I don't want to look at the figure and be all angry. Like when we call National Assembly, people want to be angry at them. Oh, why are they collecting this amount? But we don't look at the ministers. 48 is large, is the largest. And in this season when all we hear is trim the size of your government, trim it so that would have a ripple effect on how much you're spending to service members of your team. Or President Tinubu is appointing, is nominating, and everything, money goes into servicing it. Mr. Ndukwe, do we have a commensurate return for the investment we're making in these persons in terms of what we're gaining as a country?
Well, my answer would be no. And I think that no is what it should be. Because, you see, the country is always a running red in its accounts. Because if you ask for anything, they'll tell you the government doesn't have money. But whenever it comes to paying political officers, government will have money. Because they will go as far as even borrowing money to pay salaries. I really don't know where people live in that fashion. You see, as I am now, if I go on borrowing to feed myself, I don't know what it will mean. But that's what government does. But ordinarily, Kelly, you see, if things were well, if they're the managers of the nation were managing well, there won't be any qualms at all with paying those who are engineering all these activities in the right way, paying them heavily. There won't be. Because,
heavily?
Yes, heavily. I emphasize that heavily. See, it's not a personal business. This is a government business. And of course, they are supposed to earn well. But as you earn well, because the question you asked me now, whether there's a commensurate
return.
Good. So as you earn well, you also work well for things to be moving well. But now that things are not moving well, I do not know any other place to place the blame than you are not working well. You are not managing the affairs of the nation well. You should not be paid well or heavily. Yes. Because if you are given money to start business, as soon as you manage that your business well and then your activity thrives, you indeed should live better than when you had nothing, when you were not doing anything. But in the country, you see that things are drying up. Things that make us happy before, but people are now paid very heavily. The question is that why would we go borrowing? That is just it. So for me, I don't know the kind of pattern Nigerian government is using, and that is why maybe we are deep in the problem we have.
Okay, so let me ask Architect Bozimo, should heavy payments be the incentive for national service?
No. From when you started reading that story, to be honest, after a while, with those profusion of numbers and values and assigned purposes, I tuned out. And at the end of the day, the entire conversation revolves around one word: value. Like Oga Ndukwe has said, it is very likely that if you know what they are paying, whatever the equivalent is of ministers in UAE, Nigerian ministers may be any 1/10 of it, or even 100th. But in that country, nobody cares, because the average citizen there lives a life that is akin to heaven here on earth. So you don't know, because you are too busy living a quality of life to worry about what the... In fact, indeed, you are grateful to those who are making it possible for you to live that quality of life. So much so that you even feel it is a worthy reward for them. Back to the word value. What have the assorted people at every level of government bequeathed to Nigerians in general or in particular? The indices speak for themselves. We are not in the top 10 of anything worthwhile in Africa or the world. We are among the most terrorized. We led the world poverty capital for a long time, proudly, under the former president. And then we took a step back and handed over the baton to India for a while. But the India that we're trying to drag with has other indices that are far better than us. Education, where are we? Terrorism, where are we? We're not trying to go and fight a war, taking Panadol for somebody else's headache. I'm here to tell you that those numbers, in and of themselves, are neither here nor there. They are numbers.
They're numbers, yeah.
It is the connection with value. And I assert, aver, and insist that those people who are in those offices do not merit those kind of... I'm hearing the kind of thing that make me amused. Oh, you're coming, this is your basic salary, but you need clothes. So you came to Abuja naked. You need furniture. You were coming from, you were living on the street. You never owned a house or furniture before. You need
but at least they are moving you from, for instance, if you're nominated and you live in a state, you have to relocate to the center.
There's a go for it, bus service.
No, I'm saying
come by bus.
Accommodation.
Excuse me, don't argue with me. I am saying this over. Yes, I'm being a bit on the lighter note.
No.
I'm being a bit on the lighter note, but honestly,
how about accommodation?
Accommodation where? It's not. Did you hear the sums? The percentage of ordinary thing, furniture. It is ridiculous. It's preposterous.
Okay.
I'm not saying it shouldn't be provided for. Every job comes with its perks. Kelly, you are wearing a very nice shirt. I'm sure that's part of the state studio that gave you. But the point is, it's good. I got you off balance. So you have very, very nice shirt. It's part of the perks of your job. You look very good every day. But the point is this: there is a commensurate percentage. By the time you put all those percentages that you read out, that I said I tuned out after a while, the basic is maybe 10 naira. The excess is 100. The extra is 100 naira.
Yeah.
So no wonder anybody, including A.B. Bozimo, would celebrate if my name snuck into one of those lists, because suddenly, for doing more or less, did you know what they said? They said that right now, with the number of people who have been nominated, they cannot fit into that FEC room that we always see on television. There are too many people to fit into that room.
We'll do virtual now. We'll have a hybrid. We'll have a hybrid.
So some ministers. So the ministers who are not there, what will Professor Shkema call them? The virtual ministers. So they are not ministers. They are ministers of virtual. The ministers of virtual.
In the case of the 42, how many can we remember that were active?
That is okay. So you have gone back to my point. Value. They were there. They are forgettable, largely irrelevant to the actual real life needs of Nigerians. And that is why I assert and I insist that these particular sets in the past few years have been irrelevant to average Nigerians, in my personal opinion, not the station.
Mr. Wadi, do you think it's justifiable for us to be spending the amount we're spending to service appointees of the executive?
It's unnecessary, but I think I have two positions for this. First, when you look at the cost of governance in Nigeria, things are skyrocketing, and of course you look at the economy. Are we really getting it? We've not really attained the heights. When you look at so far what they have projected about Nigeria economy at this point, I think we don't need to run government that is so exorbitant at this point, considering the fact that the market force is falling. Things are just not, moving well in Nigeria. In South Africa, they had close to 36 ministers. They had to reduce it to, I think, 26. In India, it was 46 under Modi. Modi had to came down again to 42. But even at that, you look at as large as the Indian economy. Of course, they are productive economy. And when you look at the unproductive nature here, in South Africa, they had 36. Cyril Ramaphosa came in and reduced it to 26. In fact, he's even reducing it more because the likes of Julius Malema is on his jugular, fighting on daily basis. That guy is even a president. What they are running there is even diarchy, because the guy doesn't want to know if that guy is another voice. And I think that is the kind of assembly we need, where people will come out and speak, face to face to Mr. President. But at this point, I think from what we have experienced so far is that this is the first time we're having this number of ministers, and it is taking the time of the assembly, the legislatures. Do you know, the more they greet these people, because they don't greet them, what they do is bow and go.
No, but for some, they've had interactions.
But what I'm saying is not like thorough. I have listened. These are primary questions.
Either way, they will still go.
That's what I'm saying. But where things ought to be, these guys are supposed to, before you even come out, of course you must have been. You don't expect a minister. It's questions like, what will you do if you're chosen as a minister? These are primary questions, even an elementary questions that somebody can respond to. But they don't tend to be psychological and philosophical, comparing the present needs. Because what you look at is what is going on in Nigeria. Then you ask questions.
Are they in touch with the realities? For them to ask those questions.
They are in touch. They are living in pretense. I can tell you for sure. I have several persons who are in government. What they do is that once they get to a pothole where the road is bad, they tell the driver to slow down. Of course, they are in a high mountain. It doesn't affect them on top of the car. So they don't care. And even if they give them the money to go and repair such roads, you don't see them. So for me, I think first of all, we look at the cost of governance. They can manage these ministers. The essence is that why they are really getting them, because I've looked at the merit of getting these ministers. They actually use them for their political, political interest. More of political, political interest. The reason is that during elections, these people, you use them during elections.
To mobilize for you.
Yes, you must deliver. You must deliver your. Not only we have gone beyond polling unit, you must deliver your state. You work in synergy with the government. In those days, ministers fight with their government. They come back and fight with the government of the state and ensure that the status quo is well maintained. But what they are doing now is that the governor will approve you and present you to the These days, you don't look at the portfolio. What is even the requirement to be a minister? You don't need bigger CV. It's like being a president. With your WAEC, you can be a president. With the primary school certificate. Because what's the yardstick? I saw some of them. The young guy that was the social media guy who apologized, who was asked to apologize. I was looking at the guy. Why this apology? What the question is that when he was doing those things, were they wrong? He was trying to, review all the SSCs of the...
I had the same question, but when I listened to him...
Thank you.
When I listened to him, the reason for apologizing was because he called them morons.
That is... but
so he didn't want to be seen as disrespectful. It still didn't make sense to me because... anyway.
Kelly, I want to tell you that right now in Uganda, you don't even have the number of ministers like that. In Zimbabwe, where the Chinese have taken over, you don't have the number of... Right now, the Nigerian economy, what we are doing is to sell our securities. Most of the properties, most of the things are being sold clandestinely. As I speak to you, Nigeria is not a productive economy.
I don't think it's interjected.
Yeah.
Is it the people? Are we the ones, because of the austerity we're seeing right now, coming by this conclusion that our economy is in a dire strait?
Yeah.
Because the government doesn't seem to care. The government doesn't live like the economy is in a dire strait.
Well,
so maybe we are the ones from the conditions that we're made to live in, the harsh conditions, coming by things are hard. Where is this country going to? But talk to a commissioner who just got appointed. He has an SUV that's already been given to him. He's probably living in a government apartment. Life would have gone from average to good just at a snap. Elected officials, senators, members of the House of Reps, ministers. The other one that was speaking in tongues when she was appointed and stuff. I'm like, life would just go from you sleep now, you're at this level, you wake up, you're very close to heaven. So maybe we're the ones that feel like our economy is in a bad shape. But then in government, they're doing fine.
Well, I think sovereignty belongs to the people. Because when you look at so far in the west of Jimbodin in 1876, he said, if the people don't rise, of course, you won't get the required independence. And when you look at the west of Magandi, what was he preaching? He was telling the people to wake up. The same thing was going on in Chile 2 years ago when the government was hitting the people, marginalizing the people of Chile, Mapuche, to be precise. They stood up and fought for their land. The same thing is going on in Pretoria, where people had to stand up and told Cyril Ramaphosa that this is what we want. The land should not be given to the foreigners. I'm not calling for revolution, but I think it's time for us, for there to be consciousness. Nigeria has, if you look at for the few years, Nigerians are beginning to wake up. It's not like before where things, but it's just that we are still in our comfort zone. It is time for people to speak, and that is where the media has been gagged out. If you look at the policies of the last administration, where NBC started clamping on most radio stations. In fact, there was an amendment to the 12th schedule of the press, law act.
Did it happen?
No, it was interjected. Of course, people had to rise. Some of the media houses had to.
Oh, we did.
The Twitter suspension. The Twitter. They started with Twitter.
But that proposal to amend.
Of course, it was a premonition. It acted as a premonition to the voices that would have been. It suppressed a lot of voices. We are in the media corridors. Several persons who were shouting, of course, went to their cocoon because, of course, if you're caught, the Buharis of this world, he will mangle you. And up till now, most of the radio stations will tell you that they have a caveat to your voice. And of course, that tempter will, if you want to shout, there are restrictions. There are areas you go. I go to several radio stations. There are things you don't see. And of course, when you air those things out, they are important to the public. Of course, they will go a long way. There are protests you can't take. Even NLC, they were being careful at some extent. This is a country where you have multiplicity of opinions. Most are pro-government and some are anti-government. For those that are pro-government, of course, they are in large quantity. Even if they are 7, government can sponsor them and weaponize them. Look at what happened during the NLC, where the Asari came out and they were chanting war songs. Of course, the voices of the NLC, some of them went back again. So there are a lot of diverse of opinion. These diverse opinions are pro-government. Ordinarily, these policies are harsh. There are countries, I can tell you, there are countries today, some of the Arabian countries that will not persevere what we are going on today. I mean, it's like hell. Some persons can't even, have you just gone to market and just take a walk. Maybe dress well and go to as if you want to get something. Before you come out, 6 persons will just come close to you. Maybe looking at your waterproof. Maybe your polythenes are filled with maybe ripe plantain and all the rest. The person will just call, please, can you assist me? Let me. It's to that extent. Even people with suits. So for me, there is a collective quietness that have led to this kind of crescendo, and I think it is time for us to rise as a people and begin to. Rising is not to go and shout. Of course, Tinubu government will not tolerate it. He is he's coming from the military wing. He can be putting on the civilian. He doesn't take nonsense. I can tell you for sure. If not,
okay, so you mean he doesn't take nonsense?
When I say he doesn't take nonsense,
not like it's of the military extraction.
No, what I'm saying is that somebody may not put on a military uniform, but in terms of actions, of course,
who cares if Tinubu takes nonsense or not when it comes to the rights of citizens?
Not when you're caught. The rights of Nnamdi is crying to come out.
When it comes to the rights of citizens.
Let me tell you.
No, it was.
Is this right absolute?
No, the right of citizens to protest.
Is it absolute?
Peacefully.
Is it absolute?
The rights of citizens
it's
to protest.
It's not absolute. Do you know that I was researching on something under this just recently. The freedom of speech is not absolute.
No, freedom of speech is not absolute. Now, we get that. But if there's a right to protest peacefully.
Not protesting.
It is also not absolute.
There is. It's inherent. But go and protest.
No, when we talk here, there are even things that people want to say here. They say they have a right to talk. I say no.
Yes, thank you.
You have crossed the line. There's the line.
Yeah, that's
You're supposed to know the line. But we should not care about the president's disposition when it comes to fundamental rights and obligations of citizens and his government as president of Nigeria.
Some of us went to read law because we were in our house when police came in, and we were thinking that they came for mass arrest. And some of us thought that because we are in law a trade, that police will not arrest us. And when the IPO said, "Do you live in this company?" I said, "Yes." Go in. I said, "What?" He said, "Look at the van. Go inside." I was holding my constitution, and I said,
a journalist colleague was surprised when police harassed him, and I said, "I don't understand. Is it that because you're a journalist, mean that you have immunity? You don't have immunity." We understand this, but it doesn't mean that we should turn to cowards.
No, there is a reasonable force, and when police begin to use that reasonable force, it goes beyond the reason we go out. It becomes force.
Okay.
Now, do you know how Funsho William died? Have you heard about Funsho William?
Yes, okay. I can't remember the exact circumstances that led to his death.
That's what I'm saying. Up to today, even the people surrounding him.
No. You know, even in some of the in advanced nations, you have lawyers, you have journalists that went to cover war, and they were killed.
Yeah.
In advanced democracies, some journalists have been silenced because of the sensitivity of their stories. We do understand the risk of this job. It doesn't mean that we'll begin to beg the president. Your body language is suggesting that we should be. If that's the case, then all of us might as well just turn to cowards.
Yeah, let me. I just want you to get something. It's not that we don't know our rights, but that fear of the unknown, which may come at any time. Architect Bozimo, who can? These are people that can arrest you and they can do anything. You even have, like I said, go further for your research. You will see that the absolute right, even the press right, the right to do some certain investigations, most times government will tell you, please don't come to this restricted area. It's classified. There are documents that you as a journalist will
understand.
They will tell you to apply situation ethics. You don't report. So
I understand.
Getting the capital truth is very hard.
Mr. Adams.
Right.
Mr. Adams is very self-calculating.
I was just trying to, put something together. I'm doing two things at the same time anyway. You see, Kelly, with all modesty, I'm not Mr. Adams. Adams Esquire. I think that should be the proper.
Yes.
Please go on. My apologies.
Sorry.
My apologies.
So when you look at what the periscoping issue now we are discussing, it's sad in every ramifications. Okay, let me start with the legislators, both the local and the international, national and the local. Let me use that word. Now, the Constitution says that out of 365 days in a year, they are to sit for 180 days. 180 days in a lunar calendar year, which means you are not supposed to sit for 365 5 days or work for 365 days, just like the normal worker we do, like myself. I'm very sure that I work almost 364 days in a year.
Wow.
Just to eke out a living. Why I'm saying that? Because I'm in private business.
Maybe even 365.
Maybe even 365 because I work every day. You understand? Maybe there are those who work every day, even on Sundays.
Yes.
Now, they receive what? Little or nothing. Commensurate with the effort they are putting. Then you see some people working, or the culture says 180 days is minimum for you to sit. You have about 100 and something days extra to play. That is why you find that the National Assembly and whatever, they go on recess, as they call it, at their whims and caprices, in a diarrheic form. Now, what are they getting? The jumbo pay. They are well paid. They have all the opulence of office and extravagance all with them. Now, coming to the issue of ministerial, appointments, and for those who earn what they call fast salary or jumbo salaries, as the case may be, what are the functions of a minister? What are the functions of a minister? What are the functions of a minister of state, as the case may be? They feed fat on government and do nothing. Most of them feed, let me use the word, they feed fat on government and do what? Nothing. Now, if Tinubu is now increasing or making the ministry to be 48, for me, that is even diametrically opposed to the Constitution, as the case may be, because the Constitution says that each state of the federation should have one, minister. So I am looking at it approximately that what the Constitution is trying to say, the purposive interpretation of that particular section of the Constitution is that we should have 36 ministers. And these 36 ministers should be whether full ministers or minister of state.
Isn't that the least in terms of requirement?
That is what I'm saying. I'm saying that is the recommendation of the Constitution.
But that would be the least recommendation.
It says the president has the discretion.
Okay.
That is where the problem is coming from now. The president has the discretion.
So while it provides that condition, it still leaves it open-ended.
That is what I'm saying. The purposive. I'm saying purposive.
So Tinubu is not
I am saying that the purposive.
It's not wrong.
It's not wrong.
No, excuse me. I'm saying the purposive interpretation, for me, my opinion.
Okay.
You have about 4 types of interpretation. Golden rule, literary rule, user journalists, etc. as case may be. Then he now added the 4th or 5th one, which is called the purpose for which the legislature, couched that 36, like each state should have, as the case may be. So, if you choose the one that says you have the discretion, inelastic discretion, and you leave the one that says 36 or 37, as the case may be, then you have not used that discretion judiciously and judicially.
But it can still be interrogated.
You understand?
Barrister,
I'm listening to you.
It can be interrogated at this point to say that, well, the president has satisfied the minimum requirement as stated in the Constitution.
Of course, 36 states. So what he has done now is to use his discretion now to now use his discretion to add about 8 or 10 to it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Which is what he's doing.
So, which he's doing, I'm saying that discretion ought not to be used in that extravagant form, because Nigeria right now is broke. That is what I'm saying.
Is Nigeria broke?
That is what they said. They said Nigeria does not have money. We are borrowing.
Who said?
We are borrowing. Let me tell you, they said that our foreign reserve is about 1.something trillion naira equivalent that we have there. That is what they told us. You understand? Nigeria, as they say, is broke. They cannot pay
Are they lying?
workers.
Are they lying to us?
Well, I'm not in there. I don't go to the central bank for finance.
If they carry on with the business of governance, the size of governance, like there is no urgency, like there is no danger, no red line, isn't it possible they're just lying to us?
I wouldn't know about that. I wouldn't know who is saying the truth or not. But from official quarters, what we have heard is that Nigeria don't even have. Let me tell you. When they say let's increase the minimum wage to maybe 100,000 naira. Many states, and even the federal government is coming out to say they don't have money to pay that. You understand? Is that not so? And what does that show? Is showing that the country as it is cannot take care of some services that are rendered by the citizens to it. You understand? So they say Nigeria is broke at the moment. And I still stand by that. That is why we say we are borrowing.
Can I plead with you, Barrister, not to lose your line of thought?
Okay.
We have to go for the news update. When we return, We'll continue from there.
It's all right, no problem.
All right. So please stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
A very good morning to you. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kelly Ikemenjima. The Rivers State Government Flood Management Committee has called on residents of the 12 local government areas likely to suffer from flooding, as predicted by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, to take precautions against expected floods. The committee, in a statement, advised residents of the concerned local government areas to commence the cleaning of their environment and drainages to enable free flow of water. The 12 councils are Abua Ojo, Ahoda East, Ahoda West, Akukutoro, Andoni, Emoha, Ikwere, Onelga, Okrika, Oibo, and Opobo in Koro. The committee called on residents to be prepared to move to higher grounds when they see water overflowing riverbanks to avoid death and mitigate loss of property. It also directed flood committees to sensitize the people on what to do and work with local councils, traditional rulers, and leaders to come up with measures to cushion the effect of the flood. The immediate past Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has vehemently denied the allegation that he is involved in drafting the judgment for the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal judges. Fashola, who described the allegation as baseless and defamatory, also urged the relevant security agencies to investigate the claims against him and take actions against the masterminds. In a statement by his media advisor Hakim Bello, Fashola said he has been away from Abuja for an extended period of time, rendering the claims entirely unfounded. The FCT chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association has urged the federal government to reconsider its plans of no work, no pay on medical workers, saying the act will further destroy the sector. The chairman of the NMA FCT, Dr. Charles Ugwai, made the call in collaboration with the Nasarawa and Kogi state chapters at a news conference yesterday in Abuja. He condemned the proposed idea by the federal government, noting that if the government goes on with the plan, it will further worsen the shortage of doctors, most of whom have already left the country. He said that what NARD is demanding is its rights aimed at encouraging the doctors who were willing to continue to work for the country to stay. On the foreign scene, the government says the country's parliament has reinstated opposition Congress party leader Rahul Gandhi as a member after the Supreme Court suspended his conviction for defamation. Secretary General of the lower parliament house, in a statement, said the move is subject to further judicial pronouncement. Gandhi, whose father, grandmother, and great-grandfather were prime ministers, was convicted in March in a case brought by a legislator from the ruling party over 2019 comments deemed insulting to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and others with the same name, including the legislator. Upon his conviction, Gandhi lost his parliamentary seat and was jailed for 2 years but was granted bail. The Supreme Court, however, last week suspended the conviction, allowing Gandhi to return to Parliament and to contest the general election due next year. And that's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Kelly Ikemenjima. Good morning. Thank you for your time.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Okay, we thank you for staying with us. Let's continue our conversation. We stay with Barrister Adams on the situation. This money we're using to service government, the size of government with the ministers, commissioners, advisors, special advisors. The case of Is it Adamawa State where the governor appointed over 48 media advisors? 52 media advisors.
Advisors, recently.
Media advisors. Please go on, sir.
So you see, people almost have forgotten. They have forgotten almost that during the Obasanjo administration, he set up, because of this bloated ministerial whatever that we have, he set up a panel called the Oronsai panel of whatever to kind of fine-tune and streamline the ministerial portfolios in Nigeria. That particular panel came out with a recommendation which even this particular administration under the APC did campaign when he was asked a question, a probing question on the over-bloated nature of the ministerial portfolio, that they were going to implement the recommendation of the Oronsai panel. Oronsai panel recommended that we should have nothing more than 29 ministries. You understand? That we should have nothing more than 29 ministries or thereabouts. You understand the point? That if you even want to overshoot that 29, then we have to follow that particular section 147 of the Constitution that says that each state should have a ministerial slot. Then you can go to 36. That is maximum. That was the recommendation of that particular panel. You understand? But now, the administration that even campaigned with that has now jettisoned that particular report of that panel and now doing things the way they feel they can do their own thing at their whims and caprices. For me, I am not happy with 48 ministers. Even Obasanjo, even Jonathan, even Buhari. I don't even think that the Buhari administration had up to 48 ministers.
42.
It was 42. So what are you doing with 48 ministers?
What if we need them? Would there be a way to measure that we actually need them?
Of course. For instance, Minister of Information and Minister of Communication, can they come under one particular umbrella? Is it not ICT? I'm not an ICT person, but I'm saying that.
But we learned from, I hate the interjections,
yes.
but we learned from Buhari's government that the Minister for Communication is quite different from the Minister for Information.
Yeah. That is what they did. But I'm just trying to see. I'm just trying to hazard a guess or conjure and say, if for instance, if I'm the president, I decide to merge the Minister of Information and Communication as one ministry. I don't know if you understand. Then I decide also to merge, the Ministry of Agriculture with that of maybe mines and whatever the case may be, since everything has to do with natural resources and all these things. I'm just asserting a guess. So these are things, if you go to the panel, that Oronsai report, there's a way he harmonized, these ministries. He was talking about how you can bring two ministries that are extant and different into one particular ministry to streamline, the ministerial portfolio. But that has not been followed.
Do you feel that most of these appointments are political settlements?
Of course. Yeah. See, let me tell you, if I have about one minute to express this, I'll tell you that the reason why the president is doing this is not far-fetched. Why? Because there's it's like we have what they call the sword of Damocles, swinging above his head in terms of this tribunal and court matter. That is for the lower court and the Supreme Court. He is not too sure, and anything can happen. That is in my own opinion. He is not too sure, believing that anything can happen.
So he needs to get his squad ready.
In case of a rerun, if you look at the trajectory, he has been appointing and struggling to fix people into positions that will help him in the future. Akpabio, being the Senate president, is a main man and is a very critical and crucial personality in case there's a rerun. Because is it not going to be the acting president if there's a rerun and they say Tinubu and the rest should go and do a run, as case may be? Akpabio is there. Then going to the political field, look at Ganduje. He struggled to plant Ganduje as APC national chairman. And Ganduje today came out and said that he's win Kwankwaso to come back to the APC.
What's wrong with that?
There's no, I'm saying they are waiting for the future, as case may be. Then in Rivers State here, he came and planted the colossus, Governor Yeso Wike, in terms of anything that's going to happen. Maybe there's a rerun in the elections to come. maybe by November or December, as the case may be. Then you now go to BBC, you have Akume there working for him. You understand? If you go to the southeast, you have Amumahi, working for him. So he's just trying to fill holes, here and there, in case the eventualities of his removal, or whatever the case may be, done on him. Okay. I am not saying that the panel will do that. I'm just asserting a guess. That is why he's doing all this.
So the summary for you is that it's political. It's political. So let's look at another story that we're supposed to touch on for opinion poll. Sislak, Tinubu rewarding corrupt individuals with appointments. The Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, Sislak, is accused the president of appointing persons believed to be corrupt into leadership positions. In a statement issued alongside Transparency International, TI Nigeria, Sislak, it says the appointment spread across political party level, the executive and legislative arms of government. In a statement issued in Abuja yesterday, Musa Rafsanjani, executive director of Sislak, who also doubles as the country rep for TI, says he's worried about the effect such actions would have on the morale of anti-corruption agencies in the country. He says a scenario where an individual who has very substantially corruption allegation against him is made to lead the ruling political party is worrisome. These are happening despite ongoing investigation by anti-graft agencies, both at the state and federal levels, against some of these individuals. We find it appalling that some of the names sent by the President to the National Assembly to be screened for ministerial positions have corruption-related cases to answer with the anti-graft agencies. Going by this list, the President would correctly be perceived as showing a lack of care about integrity in governance and turn a deafening ears to public outcry on key issues, especially the fight against corruption. So if the appointments, if we don't care about how much money we're spending, what is happening with our guest today? Is everything fine?
Okay.
This will be a watch chapter.
Pandef.
He's Pandef.
Okay, so we look at the size of the government, 48, and for some of those nominations, from what we have seen, you see a lot of political. You see, it's not even undertone; it's clear
maneuvering.
Very, very clear that some of these appointments are political.
It has always been there.
This person's work, at least it's the case in point now. He has 48. If he had given us like maybe 30, we'll be arguing. Yes. So how about the other 7?
Yeah.
Who will compensate for the 7?
Yes.
Then he could argue, well, for the cost of governance, we're trying to shrink so that let it seem like we're being prudent in the way we're managing our resources. But he has given us 48. He has close to 30 special advisors. Tinubu has close to 30 special advisors. Or maybe if you check the few that have been promoted from special advisors to minister designate now. But all the same, it's large. People talk about the integrity of these persons. They talk about the integrity of some of these characters. For instance, Kano State is opening a probe into the dollar stocking in Agbada by Ganduje at some point. While that probe is going on, he has remained national chairman of the APC. It's almost like you have given him unofficial immunity.
The probe will soon die a natural death
from any kind of prosecution. So, does this resonate with you? What's this like is saying? Maybe begin with Bryce Awadi.
First of all, who is Sislak? I don't know the full meaning of that acronym.
Civil society group.
Where are they coming from?
They're in Nigeria.
My brother, we have looked at a lot of this group coming out, and most of these civil society groups are now, political testing, and I can tell you most of them belong to political party, and you can see the interest. You see, I don't know if they have approved them. I don't know how many cases they've had in the past in terms of investigating this guy. What I only look at is these people, the former
Amnesty.
Not Amnesty International. After Amnesty International, there's a group, civil society group, that have always been there. SERAP. So we have seen the character of SERAP in terms of coming out independently. When you talk Sislak, I'm hearing it for the first time. They've existed. That's what I'm saying. I don't know the character. I don't know the character of the
But
persons
you know Transparency International.
I know Transparency International. That's what I'm saying.
So they work closely. They work closely with Transparency International.
Answer. I can bear the name angel doesn't mean that I'm close to God. You see, most of these things you see, most of what we see every day, these are characters. Of course, when a new government comes, they come with new interests.
Okay.
I don't know their modus of operandi in terms of what are the yardstick at arriving at a particular investigation. If Ganduje has been placed on investigation, I think it's also expected that the authorities that are investigating him should take him to court. And after taking him to court, he should have been a court of competent jurisdiction may have pronounced, if there is a pronouncement as to that he's guilty. And you know where we are coming from. For God's sake, we are coming from a platform, a legal system where if somebody has been accused, the law presume you to be innocent.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Has been proven guilty.
Let me ask you a question.
I don't think that there's anything marrying him.
Does a perception of being corrupt should it dissuade or perhaps influence that person as a choice appointee for a particular position?
For the mere fact that there is a mens rea, there must be an octus reus. The both external and internal must act together.
You know, when you people use your legal terms, you should understand.
No. For me to say, God forbid, architect Bozimo has committed a crime. I'm not just thinking it from the internal. That I just feel it's not enough for me to feel. But physically, has he committed any crime?
So, if physically he was seen with
it's not enough. The law said it's
dollar.
Not enough. That is why the court of competent jurisdiction must.
Yes, of course.
So he has to be convicted by the court.
He has not been convicted. It's like calling Chimenem is a Chimenem is a thief. Where?
So
you saw him with dollars.
In that case, we can allocate from here to the moon.
It goes to nowhere, right? Kelly.
The point is straightforward.
Kelly.
You see, I don't know if I will come.
No, let him finish.
Kelly,
just come in.
It goes to nowhere.
It goes to nowhere.
Under our criminal jurisdiction, the law is very clear.
But when we have, but in nations that we mirror, at least we try to mirror.
We're talking about our own law.
No, I'm just saying.
We're talking about what is here.
We look at some of these nations where there is a suspicion of corruption. The person resigns.
See,
the person resigns in the interest of first the office that they occupy, and then for their own personal integrity. But in Nigeria, those things seem strange. Like it's not. You don't say it. Why?
In Africa, do we even have men of integrity?
In Africa,
I said here, political in terms of those that are heading political offices. Have you ever seen, even when a man is caught, when he ought to resign, you see him dying, telling you, coming out with reasons why he should occupy that office. Even as a president, have you even seen a man say, look, we've seen a lot of infraction, dereliction of duty, occasioned by higher leadership. Have you ever seen them come out to say, the only person that apologized was Yaradua, who said, look, from where I'm coming from, my election was not free and fair, and that I'm apologizing to Nigerians. Apart from that, have we not seen infractions on where leadership, even at the local government level, we have seen a lot of infractions. Have you ever seen them come out to apologize? I mean apology. Because they know that once they do it, then the glory of the latter day rain will wash away. We are living in a world of political impunity where people can exercise impunity to the fullest.
So let me ask you, because I have to take the views of others, please. It would simply mean that Sislak is actually correct and the president doesn't care because none of these men have been convicted.
They are not correct. The reason is, they are still in the precinct of what they are doing is presumption, and being presumptuous is not enough.
But you just talked about it that a lack of character is the reason why these things appear to be thriving around.
I'm pointing out it has to do with social conscience.
Okay,
that I'm here and I know that the rule of coming here, even though we don't. We are under oath. There are some restrictions. There are things that even as panelists we don't say.
I will not allow you.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Common sense will tell me, don't do like this. Don't say like this. Now, these people once they have occupied office, that's why recently I was advocating that we shouldn't be giving people oath. If we want to give oath, because it's easy to carry the Bible.
It's true.
So help me God. It's becoming, let's have a native doctor.
God is merciful.
Now, wait now. Let's go to.
He remains merciful.
Let's go to Abia State and maybe get 2 firewood. Maybe keep it. People will avoid it.
Why are you calling Abia State?
No, I'm just.
Why are you calling Abia State?
Somewhere else. Maybe call my community. Just get the firewood and maybe carve out something, an image. maybe get the head from India and keep it. Say, look, if you want to head a political office, this is your oath of office. So many persons will avoid it. That is where you will see the integrity Nigerians are. So because what we are seeing is that there is no integrity in terms of people are immediately, look, you could imagine a man you know, after some time you look at his manifestos, go and look at the posters, integrity, fairness, righteousness, gold delivery. These are the things that are written on the poster of whoever that wants to contest. Now once he wins, those things will not change. You will not see me. Be careful the way you call me. These are the things you see.
Let me take
do you expect that same person to come and tell you the truth?
All right.
So, but what I'm saying is like is not saying the truth is that first of all, he has not been convicted by any court of competent.
No, everything you have said.
Ganduje.
Everything you have said is correct. Everything you have said is correct. Because why you refuse to hold them in the affirmative on this report, every other thing you said about character puts it in the affirmative that they are correct. So let me go to Mr. Ndukwe.
It's not.
Let me take the views of Mr. Ndukwe. Then we'll come to you.
Curly, you know, we do not need the services of lawyers.
Eh?
Hold on. We do not need the services of lawyers to tell, let's even say, a blind person that there's salt in the soup. And so if a blind person is eating and there's salt in that soup, that one, he does not need vision. It will tell you, okay, it's okay, the soup is okay.
What if it's not salt?
What, no.
But it's metal that they put inside the soup. And the elements
is it liquid metal?
The elements have acted on it, and the taste is now salty. The lawyer can argue that it wasn't salty.
No, hold on. It's a different issue. See, if it's a metal that makes maybe the taste of the soup like that of a salt, the blind man, because he's truly blind, will still not know that it's salt, but to him, there is salt.
From the taste?
Yes. But if that's why I asked whether that liquid, that metal is liquid or solid. If it's liquid, he will still never know at any point in time that it was metal that caused the taste of salt there. But he will know that there's salt. Simple. You know why I'm saying this? That Emmanuel Ndukwe is not a lawyer. It's not enough to tell me that if I see Ganduje stuffing dollars in his agbada, then I will not know what has happened there. I must wait for a court to convict him. No, see, other causes, those who have read them are not idiots and fools. But I agree that a court must convict somebody. At least that's the law we've chosen to agree to. If a court convicts that person, you can expressly say, yes, he's a criminal, he's this and that. But those who are alleging, because none of them has said that Ganduje is corrupt, that is why they are calling for investigation. But they are saying, you see, that his action there suggests corruption. And they are very correct. I'm not sure any lawyer will prove them wrong because the court must convict him. One thing is this: 6 lakh for Emmanuel Ndukwe is 98% correct.
That's what Tinubu is saying.
Yes, that's what I also believe. I'm not a member of 6 lakh. I'm not so remove even 6 lakh, but it's just because they brought it now for us to start discussing it. If you are asking Emmanuel Ndukwe in confidence, how do you see this administration going with this and that, all the people he has appointed? I will tell you exactly, perhaps not in the exact word used by 6 lakh, but however mumble and however I will say it, it will mirror exactly the essence of what they have.
Okay, so how about if we say the president is looking to compensate his political allies, regardless of whether there's any skeleton in the cupboards or not?
Kelly, you know, when you hear money for the boys or job for the boys, the compensation system of Nigeria is all about corruption. Yes, because if you come to office, let's say you are vying for a position of governorship and eventually you capture it, Now all the people that work for you will come out, and small time you will be carving out ministries and departments and all that, filling all of them there. Is it not corruption? Because others who have clean minds, who remain maybe neutral to say whatever emerges, will see that. You don't look their way. Those who help you shoot down people, those who help you carry ballot boxes, and also they will be rewarded when they're doing legitimate jobs.
Akita Bosimo.
Yes.
Do you agree with Sislak? Or you think that they're a bit extreme in their report?
I think I agree with their position. We are living in troubled times in this country, and we can do without distractions. We can do without a dilution of attention on the matters and the people that should be ordinarily the focus of the leader's attention. I think we are paying far too much attention to those who are in these lofty offices, who to a large extent have been catered for. Maybe even if it's not now, many of them are elevated in society. When you have ex-governors coming, you have, these are not people who are starting. So I would say it's even forbearance. Even if you merit a particular reward, there's a time and a place where you say, okay, let me take a secondary position, because you know what? I don't lack for basics. Let the focus be and be seen to be on the people. Then later on, there will always be room for me as at all our events, you tend to find that all the dignitaries go and eat first. There should be a time when the dignitaries wait and let the young ones eat, because the dignitaries have been eating for many more years. They will not die today. And I'm just saying, in a similar manner, you have a situation where we are. I think our priorities are backwards in this particular time, and the priorities need to be refocused so that people feel that those in authority have their back.
But it wouldn't, if the president had considered this, right, this opposition, and exempted the likes of Ganduje because of a perception of corruption. A perception of course, that's what it is.
Yes, he was not convicted.
It's a perception of corruption. That's what the lawyers have established.
Yes.
It's a perception of corruption.
Correct.
And the perception, to a large extent,
is not enough.
Gives people an idea that the president is putting them.
He is innocent of
innocent
until proven guilty.
It suggests something is wrong.
Does anything exclude him from holding dollars? If we are to even question the veracity
that's the beauty of the law.
I think if we dived into this, it will be contempt, because the matter is before it.
What I'm saying now, we're not diving into it.
I refuse to talk about it.
But what I'm saying is that
I refuse to talk about it, because the video that I saw, that the guy was shining his eye and doing like this.
It's not enough.
He can be doctor.
He may have been doctor.
No, it has been established, by the way, that the video was not doctored.
The former
From
president
forensic,
said,
the Kano State.
Which
forgive me, sir. The Kano State Anti-Corruption Agency.
Which members?
But at least the statement has been made that it wasn't doctored.
See, let me.
Yes or no?
Kelly,
We're not going there.
We must be very careful.
So, at the bottom, the question is: Sislak says President Tinubu is compensating literally corrupt individuals with appointments.
Well, again, that characterization of somebody who is not under a conviction would be a step too far. When you say corrupt individual, your perception could be different. As I said, people who deserve rewards, I personally have established on this show that I feel that some of the rewards of those level are unnecessary, in my view. But it doesn't mean that they're not as specified in the Constitution. Perhaps if that's what's in the Constitution, they can get it. I'm saying it's a matter of sequence. I would looked at that list as a Christmas list. All my friends, come and let's chop. That's me. That's me, not the station. It's my perception. Again, we're talking perception here. My perception is, I've entered. All my friends come, and The whole of Nigeria.
But that's
should be
normal,
the president's friend.
That's normal.
No, the whole of Nigeria should be president's friends. You don't just come and dish out. We look at those list of things. I told you I tuned out because it was a bit too much for my brain.
Wow.
Somebody's earning this, you're earning that, you're putting percentage of this, 3 times your basic salary. By the time you talk about it, from any 1 naira, you're earning 100 naira. But meanwhile, you claim that my basic salary is 1 naira. Beg. We're not all as daft as we may seem in Nigeria.
Barrister Adams, let me ask you a question. It's been going in and out of my head. Let me see if I can piece it out. Akpabio, for instance, is said to have some of those dead bags hanging over his neck.
Of course, yes.
Right? I wonder on what basis one can really say Akpabio is corrupt. Was it because of the way he spoke during the NDDC probe? Or is it that the EFCC, they're investigating him for seeming malfeasance as governor of Akwa Ibom State? Does the EFCC, within the laws of Nigeria, do they have the powers to carry out some of those investigations? Was there a petition written by people in his state? They said whatever they are investigating, is it spent inside the state, or they took it from the state and took it out of the state? If we look at some of these things, some of the persons that are perceived to be corrupt, are they really corrupt?
You see, the point is this is very, very clear that this is a case of morality versus law.
It does not have any basis.
You understand? Now, what am I talking about? When you come out to say that I am a thief, the onus is on you
to prove,
to bring facts, prove it before the law court. Then, if I'm convicted, then I now become who you say I am. Even the Constitution says that assuming I'm convicted today for a fraudulent or fraudulently corrupt offense, 10 years after my conviction, I can still come back a clean man and contest for any position that is elective in Nigeria. Now, in the Ganduje case, we saw all this on social media. I watched that particular video, said Gandola, so what do they call the man? The president sitting in his incumbency right now, there were allegations of bullion vans, being driven into his house.
All right.
There were also further allegations of the Lekki toll gate ownership. All these are just mere verifications and proving the facts.
The alpha beta.
Alpha beta. Now you have all this, whatever. Some people just come out and say, this man is this, is that. Akpabio the same. You see, like I said, I liken the Nigerian politician, not all of them anyway, some of them, to a Greek god called Autolycus. He was an artful dodger. He was an arm robber in those days. Where the word artful dodger came in is this: he will steal your money and come to you and help you to look for that particular money. So it was so difficult for him to be caught. You understand? So that's where the word artful dodger, because he was an artful dodger. A similar thing happens to some of the Nigerian politicians. Akpabio had a case. I read it on newspaper. I watched it, where the EFCC declared him wanted, almost declared him wanted, and said he has a case to answer. Or suddenly he flew out and answered. He fled. In fact, he fled Nigeria.
He fled.
I'm using the word connotatively.
Is it the same report that they said he wasn't feeling well?
Well, hold on. I'm using the word open and close now. He fled. He fled. Yes. To get temporary relief, and I wrote a letter from a foreign hospital to say he has, I think what they call spondylosis, or what they call that, the kind of sickness he has. You understand? And that he needed time to recuperate in hospital. Then he will come and answer his whatever. Before we all knew what happened thereafter. I am not going to say. Even if you look at some of the governors today, most of them in the cabinet, they have allegations. That is why the word allegation, you are alleging. You understand? Until you prove those facts, it cannot be. So under the Constitution, if you go to section 36, it's going to tell you the presumption of innocence. That until and unless you are proved. So if you cannot prove that Akpabio, Ganduje is guilty or whatever, will you not label him with that prefix or maybe appellation? Okay, so man, what I'm trying to say, let me ask you one question. I mean, I'm sorry, let me ask a general question to the public.
Because I will not answer now.
I know you will not answer it. Yeah. You see Serap, you see Sislak, you see there are so many of them. They even have labyrinths of one or two things, dirties. I don't want to watch them here now, but that is an issue to discuss another day. Then the second one is this: Serap has gotten so many judgments against government, etc. Which of them has been executed as can be? The reason is because some of the reasons what they are doing is that most of those things they are just acting as what they call rabble rousers. Because that chapter 2 of that is where they hinge their what's it called the cost of action. They hinge their appetite on chapter 2 of the Constitution to say that you can mandate government to do this. But you find out that chapter 2, all of chapter 2, they are not justiciable.
Okay.
They are not justiciable. So you go there, it becomes an academic exercise. So what I'm trying to say to them is this: why they make waves outside the country? Because donor aids or whatever will come to them to maybe if they don't want to don't get those aids, as case may be. So the only thing I advise and admonish them is this: instead of this noise making, the organs set up. You have 2 organs: ICPC, EFCC. If you write to them, you have to write to them because EFCC can move sumoto or based on application or petitions. You petition to the EFCC chairman that you have these foolproof allegations against Ganduje or any other person at all. Then you now ask them to prosecute.
Okay.
When they are not able to prosecute, you cannot come and say you are going to court. I don't understand this. Going to court. They even went to ECOWAS court to go and get judgment. Yes,
the way Akadebozimo is looking at you and beside the question reaction, I'm like, that's trouble.
Maybe they are members of Sister.
Kelly, I said it here.
Let us not begin to. Let me tell you something.
Let's take beside the question.
I am part of. I belong to some of these NGOs. I know what's going on. Okay. A lot of things go on. Let me tell you, one of the things I was, somebody came and said, I'm going to pay XYZ amount of money, pursue this man and dig into his, then you take him and scandal. You say that kind of thing.
All right, Mr.
See, Kelly, when you have lawyers,
my only membership of architects.
In fact, once something happens in that way, they take it to that particular side. I have great respect for Nigerian Constitution as our code of law, law regulating our activities here.
Thank you.
However, that code of law will not make me become blind when I'm seeing. See, there's a parable that anybody that wants to retain his sanity eat with a long spoon with a demon or a spirit. Long spoon. Why are you eating with long spoon? You should have eaten with short ones like we humans can put something here. All of us carry small spoon and then be eating. Because you know that nothing good will come from a spirit when it comes to mingle with humans. The same way it applies. Yes, we've heard that you presume somebody innocent. That's what we are doing. You remember that's what we were saying about Emefiele and all that. But the issue is that if Emmanuel Ndukwe, as a human that is intact with his intellect, sees there's something Emefiele committed, maybe others weren't privileged. And as I see that finish, he comes out and then mingle into the air, and as a result, I'm told, well, the onus lies on you to prove, Mr. Ndukwe. Then we went to court. I can't prove. Even if we come back to our homes, Emefiele, if I'm coming out anywhere, Emefiele is passing that way, I'll just go another side. That will show you that he has registered something is impacted on me very negatively. And that is the way we go. And one may call this, morality. I tell you, I said, if anybody that watched that dollar, the way it was going in, will ask questions, because it shouldn't have come for, display now. That's the beginning. Why must that kind of thing be done in a way that must I be where Ganduje is before he stuff dollar into his Afghanistan? So the truth is that what Sislak is saying, remember, if I see Chimene and I say, Chimene, you are corrupt, that is where Chimene can file this and that against me. But if I said, Tinubu appoints people that are questionable in character, nobody has mentioned any specific name.
But when you give the instance that describes someone,
good.
Have you not made a conclusive statement?
You've not. See, Kelly, if for instance you see that Ndukwe is talking like a thief, you've not called me a thief. In fact, you'll be 2 years from even mentioning Ndukwe. You see, Kelly, that man in your studio, you refuse so that same law will protect you. That same law that the barristers or the lawyers are quoting for me. You see that man in your studio, what is his name? You keep quiet. Because you know what you fall into if you mention his name. That is it. So everybody like Adams Esquire is mentioning about that artful dodger. Everybody is dodging the weight of the law. I am telling you that Sislak has not committed any offense in stating this.
Let me ask, and I want to ask the lawyers this question. I'm hoping that we can get quick responses.
It will be like others.
For instance, you say
that's an indictment.
You say
that's an indictment. That is a direct indictment.
At least you're here now. You're here, so you have the right to respond.
We have the right to respond.
You have the right.
People sue him.
You have to
bring an action against him.
No problem. It will be between both of you. Today, I will not be involved. But my question is this: we talk about, if, for instance, a state like Kano State. Let's look at the case of the former majority leader of the House of Reps, Doguwa, who has an alleged murder case right now. He's in the house. If Kano State wants to prosecute him, because they said they want to open the case, right? They want to prosecute him, and he has the backing of the federal government, the case will drag for a long time, and it may never be concluded. But if, I say this again, if Doguwa influenced people to kill people, justice will never come because he has the backing of the government. A similar thing would happen with, I wonder, when Godswill Akpabio returned from that foreign trip, he came back and he started campaigning to become Senate President. Okay. The EFCC could not arrest him. The EFCC could not block him like they tried to block Saraki. They tried to block, what's his name? The one incarceration in UK. Ekoremadu. They laid siege on him now in his home.
Yeah.
EFCC laid siege on the home of
Rochas
Okorocha.
They entered his house.
They entered his house from the ceiling.
Yeah.
They did all of those things.
I don't know what that thing means. Are you doing the work to protect people's property like a thief? Why are you entering through this?
The matter is already in court.
So my question is, nothing stopped the EFCC from going after Akpabio. Even now, Akpabio doesn't have immunity.
There's no immunity.
Yeah, there's no immunity.
It doesn't have
not while he's inside the hollow chamber.
No,
if he's out.
We mean Akpabio.
He can decide to
not have. Akpabio does not have immunity.
No, don't say
so.
So
If the EFCC,
because he will lay
if you say Akpabio does not have constitutional immunity, I might agree with you.
Yes.
But he has parliamentary immunity. Then he have governmental immunity.
Okay. I don't know. Open and close.
Yes, open and close. Because the government of the day cannot allow you
to just mess him
come
up.
and mess his number three up in the country. That's the problem.
Did they try to mess Saraki up?
Saraki?
These are
No. Did the government try to mess around?
They did, but what happened at the end of the day?
Okay.
They were resistance.
So this is the point. This is my question. The EFCC could have gone after Akpabio. They didn't do anything. We didn't hear anything.
Maybe.
At least we did not hear anything.
You want me to respond?
He is now Senate President. Right? The state government in Kano State is looking to prosecute Ganduje. Ganduje is now national chairman of the APC. It is very likely.
That does not even exclude him not to be arrested.
He still doesn't have immunity. But he has governmental immunity.
Yes,
quote and unquote. As stated by the lawyers.
Protection by government.
Protection by government.
For corrupt officials.
So when you have alleged corrupt officials. So if you have a situation like that, and one individual goes to petition this man, the state has not been able to successfully prosecute. A citizen says, I have facts. I write a petition. Prosecute this person.
It's not.
Who has a greater impetus?
If the state say
between the state that is unable,
the state, let me tell you.
I don't even want to mention former minister.
The reason is not far-fetched. Also, let me tell you why. Because our institutions are weak.
Okay.
That is why I'm of the opinion and in support of us to have what they call private investigators and or private prosecutors. Although the ACJA has created room for private when as the case may be, but it's growing. I think we are building on it. Very soon, you find that an individual like myself can take Ganduje to court to have the facts. 2, let me tell you what is going on. Do you know that why most of the matters fail, even with the EFCC? Why they not need to carry out convictions of these high-profile matters? One is this: the shoddy investigation they put into those, investigation activities involving. Now look at the what's the man, the Ganduje's case. Now when you ask those who peddle this in the internet to bring facts, to support what they are doing, they will tender, those pictorial evidences, that web or whatever. They cannot tell you the source of all the origin of those funds, how it passed through, and they don't do detailed investigation. That is the bait. The third one is, let me tell you, with due respect, the institutions here are porous. You know what I'm saying? I have dealt with some of this, in fact, to the highest level of the apparatus of corruption fighting, busting, units in Nigeria here. Now, corruption has permeated. You understand? It has permeated. It's even percolated. Percolated. It has become a flood in the institutions. What am I talking about? If you get somebody arrested now, the instrumentality of bail, comes in. What then happens is this: bail has now become a commercial commodity. Now, if the father is a high-profile man that is brought to an office, what happens is this: they begin to run after the person because they say he's going to pay 10 million. He gives 10 million under the table, under the underhand 10 million. The next thing is released. Now, let me tell you, even what happened between what's his name, Benfiele, where you had the DSS fighting. Do you know why they were fighting each other? You know why they were fighting?
No.
It's because of corruption. Because let me tell you, the prison official, the man who came to prison on that day, was never supposed to be there because he's the head of prison. That is, they call him the major organ of that place. Of that prison. Whatever they say, I don't know where the prison is. But he was the head. And his equivalent position is like the DCP. A DCP cannot come to a prosecuting ground unless he's invited or subpoenaed. Now, what would have happened is that he would have sat in his office, let his boys come and do whatever, what he calls remand him in correctional custody, etc. The boys will break, but he came to personally influence, because he knew he's a high profile, person that if he gets to that prison or whatever, to be changing hands. It is very, very few. Some high-ranking police officers, they look at you and say, we are not taking money from you. We want justice to be done. We are going to grant bail, for you to go. But many of them will not do that. So we sit back and be expecting, high-profile cases to come. Ganduje goes to EFC right now. I'm telling you about a retinue, if not a convoy of senior advocates, will follow him to that place to intimidate the institution, and the institution cannot do anything about it. So a labyrinth. You see the deluge of so many inhibitive, tendencies are so prevalent.
Okay.
That is why these things do not take place. You can't do anything.
Okay.
And I believe it's going to go scot-free. As case may be.
Let me just give you an update. The game between Super Falcons and England has gone into extra time. They're in the 107th minute right now. Super Eagles are still holding on. Scoreline is nil.
Falcons.
Super Falcons.
How do you know that the English team is not the one holding on?
Well, the Super Falcons, they're holding on. It's still
We are
nil.
the underdogs. We are the underdogs.
It's still nil. Let's hope that the guys in the studio, they'll be happy that the game would end the way they expect. Okay, not the way I'm thinking. So at the end of the day, Brasa Wadi, let me ask you: persons that are perceived to be corrupt could actually live their lives with that perception, not being convicted by anyone, because of the porosity of our system and institutions.
Yeah, very right. When you look at the period of assumption, the law is what I tell people, Nigerian law is very sacrosanct. The reason is that there are a lot of laws that are yet to be exhausted, and implementation has become an embargo. And who is to lift it? It is the bourgeois, and the bourgeois are the government officials. When you look at the corridors of the judiciary, of course, it has been hijacked by these bourgeois. And of course, the voice of the proletariat is very minute. And that is why when you look at the voice of Karl Marx, when he said the law is used by the poor, by the rich to oppress the poor, or by the bourgeois to oppress the proletariat. And clearly, when you look at the law, but there are a lot of faulty grounds to that Karl Marx position, because while you're seated here, if I slap you, of course, you have the right to go to court and challenge that illegal attempt. And there have been trespass to person. So, of course, when you look at the position of Karl Marx and look at the society as at then, it was just a society of, and wasn't an egalitarian society. Society was very unequal. So it was at that point that definition came out. But it has been defeated by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and other Senate that are practicing democracy. Now, clearly, of course, the man can be presumed to be innocent. Who is Sislak? Are they not human being? Are they coming from Pluto? Even the angels that God used at a point, Satan was a very good angel. He defaulted. So if there could be a lot of, you could see such a negative future emanating from such an angel who was so angelic, who has a very good voice. And at a point, God sent him down. He defaulted because of the forces down here on earth. Who is Sislak?
No,
I
asked a simple question.
You said
persons that are perceived to be corrupt,
because
of our weak institutions, could live all their lives.
What?
Perceived to be corrupt.
Perceived.
A state will come.
When you say perceived,
a state will come and go.
When you say perceived,
the state says we have evidence, we can prosecute, be it political, be it objective, but we have evidence we can prosecute. The person has the backing of the federal government. That person plays his politics right. Another government comes. He's still in favor with that government. He's untouchable. He lives his entire life perceived to be corrupt, but never convicted of any corrupt allegation.
You're right to some extent when you say perceived. That is why the law, the burden of proof, is on the state. The burden of proof is on the person that alleges.
So when
the rules of evidence is very clear and absolute.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know what you said.
So when the system protects you, when the institutions are so weak that the individual in power protects you, there's nothing anybody can do to you.
Well, that's why.
Would they take you to ECOWAS court and convict you, and that prosecution and conviction will stand?
Check the lineup. What happened to them after conviction?
It won't even happen, because it won't even take place. Look, you remember there was a man, I don't want to call his name, who said if you join our party you will be protected. See, there is a glorification, there is a covering, and one thing I keep telling people is that, of course, if you belong to a ruling party, there is a lot of immunities, both invisible and visible. Now, you don't expect, of course, there are a lot of people working freely now. The Otta farm, we heard about Obasanjo saga, even the articles of this world who are contesting today. There are some where we have strong institutions. There are those that ought not to contest not even to announce themselves as candidate of a party.
And if those institutions were to be strong, maybe
countries
Tinubu,
like China,
maybe even Tinubu will not be president.
That's what I'm saying. Countries like China,
I said maybe you.
Maybe no, I'm not saying I'm not.
No, I'm not speaking for you. I'm not speaking for you. I'm speaking for the perception of those listening. Because let's say Kelly said Tinubu should not be president.
Yeah,
I said maybe if our institutions were up and doing strong.
And who makes the institution strong? It is the people. If we are to follow the words of Montesquieu, a man I respect so much, that let there be complete separation, if he dies here and all the rest, the rule of law, and let there be complete separation of power. When you look at section 4, 5, 6 of the Constitution, of course, there shouldn't be any fusion of power. The executive should be independent. The judiciary should be independent. The legislature should be independent. And that is what democracy entails. If there is, it's like what is going on in South Africa. Who would have thought that the Zumas of this world would have been arrested? Zuma was arrested. The assembly, yes, went to prison. What about the Oscar Pistorius case? What happened? He mistook Oliver
Pistorius.
Steve Camp to be what? The court viewed it and knew that the state apparatus was working up and doing. And who are these people making the state of apparatus to be unique? To be upright. They are South Africans. If you look at the legislative assembly in South Africa, look at the level of violence. They don't even allow. When Zuma came, when he was supposed to come and talk in the assembly, they grilled him. Everybody was allowed to speak. Even if the white majority were like trying to shut down the black majority. But there was a voice in the assembly. And it became part of the rule of evidence that was used against Zuma. Because you could not answer anything. So it became part of the evidence.
So
now what we are saying is that it's not enough to perceive. It could be malicious. We have seen a lot of individuals' maladies. People out of sheer wickedness could even see you that you bear Kelly. And they say, my son would have beard Kelly. This guy just took my son's name. And they will just hate you for nothing. We have seen such envy. When you talk about the mother of envy, Nigeria is the highest. This is a country that mere perfume, somebody will get angry. So if
I still understand.
No, that you have simple perception, it's not enough. No. The court is saying convince us. We have weak institutions. Yes.
We've looked at.
What about the AG of the state? It is even the responsibility of the AG of the state. The AG of the state in Kanu. What is his position?
Let me ask you a question.
That is what
I hate that I have to mention this.
Yeah.
I hate that I have to mention this. Let me ask you a question. In the case of Rivers State government and former governor,
Rotimi Amechi, there have been a lot of
Rotimi Amechi.
Remember, he's a pastor. I don't talk about those.
Allegation of selling off state assets.
Yeah, okay.
Like I said, allegation of selling off state assets. State government wants to prosecute. He goes to court to say, hey, stop them. They don't have a right. First court said, no, you have to go back. Second court, no. Final court said, you must go back. Abi, now the matter wants to hear. The next argument is, oh, no, you did not serve him properly. That's why he did not show up in court. So people have a feeling that this is a very powerful person. So it is not easy to prosecute a very powerful person. Even a state government finds it difficult. That's what I'm speaking of. That's what the question I asked was.
Where you have weak institutions and strong persons.
Perceived doesn't make you. See, people could feel like you're the worst human being.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The allegations could seem so true.
Yeah.
So real, you can feel it.
Yeah.
But when it's tested in court, you establish that really it was baseless. Somebody was just trying to witch hunt you, right, for political gains.
Yeah.
If those things are not tested, one will not even know if truly this man that they've accused from here to the heavens, really, there was nothing, right? Somebody will not even know. But when you have a case where some of those cases don't even make it to the court, that's why I asked the question. People can live their lives with the perception of being corrupt by people just because our institutions are weak.
Well, if you say so.
Is it correct?
Yes.
Question.
No, you're not in my mind.
I'm not in your mind. I'm asking the question.
To some extent.
To some extent.
That's why I said there are a lot of malicious intentions hovering all around. People can as well. No, you're putting a question.
If the intentions are malicious,
yes,
right?
We have seen,
and you test it in court,
and it's proven negative.
You are innocent,
and it's proven negative.
And it's proven. Is it not better that way?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So many persons have perceived, but they've not gone to court. So many persons have said this person is a thief. This person is like this. It's like what is going on in Kanu now in Ganduje's case. What is the AG of
Kanu wants to
What is his
prosecute.
movie? The moves.
Let me ask a question.
Who are the people instituting it?
You are aware. You're already aware.
No, when you say you are aware that I saw Ganduje stuffing.
No. That's not aware.
Okay.
You are aware that the court is supposed to rule on the previous government suit, barring any investigation against Ganduje.
Remember, he has a right to.
No.
Of defense.
The current government, they are looking to withdraw that initial suit.
Yeah.
The court is supposed to restart it. The court is about to make mention of that. You're aware, right?
I'm aware.
If this happens and the state government says we want to prosecute beyond whatever affiliation, do you see Kano state government effectively prosecuting a case against Ganduje as national chairman of the APC today?
It's all right. The truth is coming.
My brother, Ganduje, first of all, is not a god. He's not beyond the law. no, he's not above the law. That is a party chairman. Yes. Remember, we have seen people senators that have been arrested. All Jesus Kanu was picked. All Jesus Kanu was picked even as a member of NPC. Right. There was no mercy. So what I want to say, by virtue of section 1 of the Nigerian Constitution, some three, even he is not above the law, and no group of persons can hold this country ransom.
You want to say something?
And I want to tell you that if he's found guilty, the law he will be arrested. If he's found liable, he will be taken to face the judge.
Yes,
and I don't know why we are all taking this as if
I very much love Chimene.
The law is weak or whatever. He's not the first chairman.
Don't bother yourself.
Remember Adams Oshomole?
What happened to him?
No, he was at a point they invited him. At a point, Adams Oshomole was invited. A lot of petitions against him.
Let's hear.
So if they are approving petition,
we have to open the phone line.
My friend,
let's hear.
Chief, I know you're not a politician. You're seeing it from the morning to spite.
You see, I love him very much, but I tell you, Kelly, I tell you that no law in existence anywhere can remove the perception faculty from a human that is alive and sane. None. One has right to perceive whatever one chooses. But when you come to the law, as far as Nigeria is concerned, perhaps they will tell you until a court of competent jurisdiction declares or pronounces that person guilty, you have no right to say perhaps if it's bordering on corruption that particular person is corrupt. We understand that. But I am telling you, what the eyes see gives signal to the brain that this may be this, and then you start looking at that person. And that is why I have given a very concrete analogy. A spirit. Eat with it with a long spoon. Why the long spoon? Kelly, if I want to eat with you, you have a small spoon to be eating, and I will also use my own. But as far as the spirit is concerned, I'm advised to use long spoon because I suspect that nothing good could come from that.
Kelly, you see, if I may just add my voice to this.
Quickly.
Just a second.
It's a second, actually.
Yeah, I have said that the reason why we have this this kind of situation in Nigeria where people think that some people are untouchable is because the fact that institutions are very, very weak. We have strong men. Obama came and told the world and said that Africa, have many weak institutions but very strong men in power. That is why we are backward. Otherwise, the president, need not even, nominate somebody that has any, allegation of corruption.
The military of all the 14 other ECOWAS nations combined. ECOWAS has a combined annual gross domestic product of $760 billion. Nigeria generates almost $500 billion of that amount, which is about 63%. So while we fervently advance the cause of democracy and the rule of had a vested interest in what happened in or happens in Ukraine and America in Cuba. It's gone are the days when President Obama would destabilize Libya and then hand off and leave Nigeria to bear the consequences in the form of Boko Haram, which are essentially a spillover effect of the Libyan. They're all interested in sharing the spoils. The people in government are not serious about changing Nigeria's situation, but perpetuating themselves. Charlie Peace, ECOWAS should allow us, Nigeria, to live in peace. We're not seeing results with democracy. Dialogue will be the best and better solution to this coup d'etat. We Africans are not ready for war. Any attempt for Tinubu to divert attention of Nigeria from court ruling tribunal will not be taken. Ministerial nominees, purely a political compensation for those who masterminded the 2023 general election. That's a strong statement. Politicians, looters in Nigeria. Let's leave that part. Dave Pafter puts it this way: many ministers mean many job opportunities. More gardeners, more cooks, more drivers. Maybe that's a job creation Tinubu promised us. Okay. Akanukut, bloated structure. President Tinubu has no other option but to compensate those that brought him into office, whether through legal or illegal means. Success look, bloated government structure of Tinubu. It's disheartening. The Nigerians who are struggling to survive on daily basis are the ones Tinubu's government is directly increasing their pains with anti-people policies. However, there is no need to increase cost of governance in Nigeria. Those appointments are totally a waste of Nigeria's resources. Also, why recirculate ex-governors and other alleged corrupt persons in Nigeria? Are there no qualified Nigerians to occupy those positions? This, for you, is a banana republic led by Tinubu for the interest of Tinubu, to the detriment of Nigerians. Your opinion. Sonny Texudo, you said without any achievement, I guess you're reacting to the bloated structure. And then Prince OCJ puts it this way: good morning, Kelly. In the House, Tinubu is appointing alleged corrupt individuals to join him to distort us more after telling us to pay sacrifice. Legbosi Day puts it this way: bloated structure, Tinubu new governors to get 48 ministers, 560 commissioners, and so on. These ministers should be ready to take the mantle and move by it and keep the fire burning like a round peg in a round hole. Some of the contributions there. Let's move on to the general post. Samuel Bethlehem puts it this way: good morning, Kelly. You're reaching us from Rukboko. Thousands rally support for coup leaders in Niger as ECOWAS deadline draws closer. If the people are not in support, there is nothing ECOWAS, or if the people are in support, there is nothing ECOWAS can do. For them, if war is the best option, then they are ready. The economic and social underdevelopment that have taken over West Africa should come to an end. ECOWAS leaders should come to understand that the people are really tired of corruption and mismanagement, and if they don't do anything, the same will come up against them. I'm actually happy with what is happening in their country. They're happy seeing the so-called democratically elected president pushed out of power. Adioji, ECOWAS leaders are the major problem of Africans and Niger Republic. The people are happy with the military intervention, and yet ECOWAS community are saying no to their decision. They should allow those people, please. All right. Comments from social media. Let's call the phone lines. 0817 00000951, 0810 9510951. Again, 0817 00000951, 0810 9510951. Today 95.1. Good morning.
My brother, good morning. This is Emeka calling you from Owerri in Imo State. Niger. Never know that Niger has people, more countries that back them. If you think we will be dealing with my other Nigerians the way you deal with us, let me try. I will not advise you. Don't stop advising you. Let me try whatever I want to carry. And they are here. I'm very sure that I don't know what the question is. Maybe one of the writers said there is preparing for 2027 or whatever. Or what which I don't know. I can't just understand. The issue for 8 ministers. When you're asking us to cut our belt, to shorten our belt, and you see this situation, you come on the radio and tell us that I know your parents, I know what they're going through. Do you know how much these people will take home in a year every year? These people he's employing.
All right, Emeka.
The way they came with more than 200 convoy. You never listen to anybody.
Point made. Today 95.1. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Kelly.
Welcome to you.
My name is Onu Samuel calling from Port Harcourt.
Please go on.
Yes, I've keenly listened to the analysis of your guests in the studio. And one of your guests, in person of I don't know, a barrister, I don't know his name. He mentioned people that are corrupt. He mentioned Otafam.
Allegedly corrupt. He said allegedly corrupt.
Kelly, just let me land, please.
No. You are saying he mentioned people that are corrupt, but he did not call them corrupt. That's why I'm adding allegedly corrupt, because we cannot call anybody corrupt.
Hello. Noted. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Can I move on?
Yes, you can.
Yes. This principal in this state is, should I put this allegedly or what, is highly corrupt.
Thank you, Samuel. You don't want to comply. There's the way things are done, eh? Where people feel we're in a banana republic. We know the banana republic. I can be arrested. You can be arrested. In fact, as a matter of fact, there can be an order that will seal this facility. There can be an order that will seal this facility. Bros, drink water. Calm down, eh? God bless you. We have heads, so we intend to use it. Today 95.1. Good morning.
Kelly, good morning. I greet your guest. My name is Lawson. I'm calling from Yenegua.
Please go on.
When you and your guest begin to say Tinubu is, let me not say you and your guest. When people say, oh, Tinubu is appointing people that are alleged to be corrupt, I wonder, who do they want Tinubu to appoint? You, or is it a guy, man? Did you work for him? It is customary that you appoint people that work for you to get the victory. Why are people complaining? They want Tinubu to just go out, leave all those that have worked for them. Look at even when he left Festus Keyamo out. People complain. The Festus Keyamo is somebody that is loyal and has competence and has worked. And then he brought Festus Keyamo. It is about his team that helped him to win the election. People must know that. It's not just going to go out there and appoint people who work against him or people who are criticizing him. No, he won't do that. Nobody will do that. Even Peter Obi will not do that. And when people say, that, for instance, if I say, Kelly, you are corrupt, and then you say, no, you are not corrupt, does it mean anything? That statement has nothing in it because there is no proof.
It means a lot. It means a lot, eh? It means a lot. But your point is made. Lawson. Your point is made. All right? Let's move on. Thank you so much. Today 95.1. Good morning.
Today, sir. Special greetings.
Please go on.
Yes. Please, the problem of Nigeria.
What's your name, please?
My name is Consistent, calling from Obibo.
Okay.
Okay, let me quickly make my input. The problem of Nigeria is simply we are not running Nigerian interests. Americans are running American interests. Nigerians are not running Nigerian interests. Your guests here now, they can come out with a very brilliant, comprehensive ideas that can build this country. But when they come up with this, now they will start asking them, is he from where? He's from South, he's from North. And he belongs to this church. He's a Muslim. He's this. We should run Nigerian irrespective of who you are, where you came from. Provided the input or the idea you provide can take Nigeria to the next thing. Please, that's what we should be thinking. Nigerian interest. It will go a long way to help us. That's what is in American interest. Irrespective of who you are, irrespective of the state you came from, your tribe, your religion, your denomination, provided your idea is right and can make Nigeria better.
Okay.
Let's run Nigerian interest. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for reaching out. Taking some more reactions today. 95.1. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly.
Morning.
My name is Frank, calling from Jura. Let me greet out after this. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah, let me dwell on artist to file a fair share suit against Tinubu in U.S.
I think the last time I checked, Atiku is the problem of his filing suit everywhere will not help him again. Because in 2015, he followed on down PDP and he ran to APC. Later he came back to PDP. Before then he has been jumping from one party to another. Had he been, he worked for PDP and he stood for PDP. Right now he would have been president. The chance of him being president of Nigeria is too late now because the way age is not by his side. And I advise Atiku to stop filing fresh to up and down. Even though he goes to moon, he cannot get judgment there. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, Frank, thank you for reaching out today. 95.1. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Hello.
Morning, Chris.
Yeah, this is Chris. Listen, only the problem we have is this on what is going on. If somebody said I am corrupt, yes, agencies are supposed to take care of that. So if you are waiting for me to bring evidence for you, that means you want to kill me. We have EFCC. We have the people that are supposed to prove. Look at what is going on between the case of former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi. Look at what is going on. Upon all the allegation level against Kayamu, this and that, so all this, even nobody wants to. So that's the type of country you want me to be into it. The country that believes that allegedly that white is black. You want me, you want my own head. You don't want to do your work. I service. Look at what is going on. Look at what is going on in Ethiopia. This is saying no, it's not corrupt. It's this. Go you now, go. If you think that this thing is not corrupt, go and try. Look at the type of country. Nobody knows what is going on, and they want to grow.
Chris, while your opinions are yours, please be careful with what. If I heard something right, I want to believe that that's not what you said. Please, language is very important on this space, and in fact, in any communication, language is very important. Language is very, very, very important. Oh, sadly, Nigeria just lost penalty shootout. Super Falcons lost to the Three Lions of England. Just happening now. Penalty shootout. But quite a good effort. Really good effort. Let's continue with the calls. Today, 95.1. Good morning.
Nigeria, I'm tired of Nigeria.
What's your name? What's your name?
Nothing to write about. It's all about
Is your name I'm tired of Nigeria? Is your name I'm tired of Nigeria? Is your name I'm tired of Nigeria? When you call, tell us your name. You just call and say you're tired of Nigeria, and yet you are in Nigeria, calling from Nigeria. Your breakfast will be from Nigeria, lunch Nigeria. Today 95.1. Good morning.
Morning, Kelly Kemejima.
Morning to you.
Chris, I call it.
Chris, go on, please.
Kelly, I noticed that since this is coming to existence, this word allegedly to fight the corruption is not too hard. That's what I mean. Because you want to go and fight the corruption, the word allegedly will be in your mind and you go back. Kelly, it pains me that a woman who steals goat will be sentenced to some years in prison, while the one who stole millions of naira or dollar will remain allegedly and will be compensated. Coming to Mr. President about their interference in Nigeria. Kelly, for me, as only why I am, I would like Mr. President and our military people to go to Niger and interfere. Because Saul thinks that is Omega until after the war. Thank you.
Chris, all right, point made. Let's take some more reactions. Today, 95.1. Good morning.
Kelly, good morning.
Hello, mascot. Welcome. Please go on.
Thank you so much. I greet everybody. My head abroad again, man. My friend, Barrister Chiminem and Barrister Tim. I greet everybody.
My brother,
mascot.
Good morning, mascot. I salute you especially.
God will bless all of you. You know, how can we expect much from this president? And this president is one of the bourgeois that has been tormenting Nigeria, the views of mascot. Look
look at the size of the cabinet under very excruciating and grinding economic conditions we have found ourselves in this country, and he had to nominate 48 brand of people who Nigeria will see. How is it going to work? You said allegedly, are we going, Kelly, to live on this very time allegedly? When Deji Adeyeju wrote a petition to the EFCC, and the bullion van found at the house of this current president in 2019. Till today, EFCC didn't do anything, didn't investigate till he became president. This current president, before he became president, came out and told us that this is his money. That nothing will happen. And it did nothing happen. And you said we will continue like this. There is one thing striking that my friend Barasa Kimilem said, that if Nigerians we need to rise up, not in a violent way. I no agree. It's allowed in the constitution. Otherwise, there will be nothing left for the ordinary man like mascot. Because these people, they don't care about our welfare, they don't care about our well-being and our prosperity. This country is going down into the mess. That's why I even want them to go to Niger. The people of Niger are solidly behind the junta in Niger because of bad leadership and bad governance. If they go there, they will get the greatest shocker of their life, because what happened in February 25 is I have a postgraduate degree in international affairs and diplomacy. There are different types of who develop us. That is what happened in the views of mascot in 20 February.
Okay.
So for me, let them go there and see what will happen. Thank you, and God bless all of you.
Okay. Views of mascot remain your views. Today 95.1. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly.
Hi, Obed. Welcome. Please go on.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Kelly, I am surprised that some of our guests in the studio they are saying that the president appointing, the issue raised about president appointing people that are corrupt. I don't know if you've forgotten vividly that the current president, everything about him is not actually clear for the public. So we shouldn't expect anything different in terms of appointment or whatever, because everything about him is questionable. You understand? Right from certificate, date of birth, and so on. Everything, virtually everything is questionable. So we shouldn't be surprised that he's appointing the people who still have questionable character into his government. It shouldn't be a surprise to Nigeria. You understand? We saw the fight against the FCC chairman. Where do we think that is coming from? You understand? We shouldn't think differently, because that is what this government is going to look like. You look at the lives of the former governor of Rivers State. At the time, there was allegation that money was withdrawn over the counter, and today we are yet to see any explanation coming from that event that took place that time. Was it 2017? About 120 billion was withdrawn over the counter. But what did he do? He used all manner of force to be able to stop the FCC from arresting the current governor right now, who was then the accountant general.
Is there a perpetual injunction barring the EFCC from looking into the books of Rivers State?
What do you say?
Is there a perpetual injunction that bars the EFCC from looking into the books of Rivers State government?
Perpetual injunction or no perpetual
My question is simple. My question is simple. Obed, you have been saying a lot of things. Everything about the president. Please, can you slow down? Can you slow down? Can you slow down? Next thing you get angry. Slow down. You've been saying a lot of things. Everything about President Tinubu is questionable. If you ask a question on that one, you will drag from here. But I'd like to ask you a question. If you say the former governor of Rivers State, use every means to block the EFCC, I ask a simple question. It's not a case of morality. Is there a perpetual injunction barring the EFCC from looking into the books of the River State government?
I didn't say that there's a perpetual injunction. You understand? But is it not within the powers of the state assembly to investigate? But none have investigated.
Is it also beyond? Is it also beyond the EFCC to move to vacate that perpetual injunction in court?
Of course, we are betting on EFCC to that effect for a very long time. You understand? We are saying that. You understand? In as much as we continue to say that this money is the people's money, the people deserve right for explanation. You understand? That's what we're talking about. One who must go to equity must go with clean hands. If there is not anything dirty about the money that was withdrawn, he ought to have made it known to the people.
They did not complain. The state government did not complain that their money was missing. The state government did not complain that somebody stole their money. Did they?
The state government under who now? Under the former governor, right?
Did the state government complain? I mean, the state government also talked that somebody sold their properties. Isn't that correct?
Of course, they say so. We also wanted them. We want them to prosecute the person.
Thank you so much. All these speculative summaries. Please, if the FCC has a case, the FCC, they know how to go about their case. So why didn't you want to prosecute this person? Why not go ahead and vacate that order that even your then acting chairman said, yes, we are aware of that order, we're going to vacate it. You didn't vacate it, you do something. And I still recall when some judicial correspondents, EFCC correspondents, tried to ask the EFCC, what is your statement on this action? They kept silent. The EFCC kept quiet. And that's what you want to hold and drag and flog and argue left and right. No, please. Today 95.1, good morning.
Hello, good morning, the moderator in the studio.
Morning to you, sir.
Oga Mama in-law, Kasa.
Car, my brother.
Yes, sir. Let me talk of Nigeria preparing to go and abridge the issue in Niger Republic. You know, I had someone make statements, and I attribute it to Asare Dokubo, saying that when there was a problem between Kaduna and Abuja Road, that he was the one who interfered with his boys. I think Nigerian army should rest for now for fighting Boko Haram. Olumo from Lagos State and Asare Dokubo are good to go. I think they should be the one to be at the front of this Niger Republic issue, because Nigeria has breeded some groups who are more than Nigerian army who can go in front to fight the war for us. Let Nigerian army rest. I think that is my take. So what do I know? Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for reaching out. Wow. So MC Luomo and Asare Dokubo should stage the military intervention in Niger. Quite the idea. Good morning. Today 95.1.
Good day, Kelly and the guests in the studio.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. This is Mekan Joko from Mumbai.
Please go on.
Yes, on the ministers nominated by President Tinubu, whether some of them are corrupt or not. Like Ganduje is being said to be the national chairman of APC, and the dollar fight is raging. I want us Nigerians to believe that corruption is a legitimate error. It's a legitimate error. I'm conscious of the oxymoron I'm using. You see, we shouldn't bother so much about this caliber of ministers. We should be able to have it that there are nothing that the ministers will do for the masses. It's not for the first time we are having ministers. They will not do anything. The whole thing is about policies and issues of government. And the ministers will drive on this. If corruption will be, brought to the barest minimum, it is not going to be Mr. President's declaration. It is going to be about the people, their mindset. You know, these are the issues. I don't want us to bother Ganduje being the chairman or not. After all, what is this politics about dollar? Talked in Ganduje's gabardine or whatever. Even those that put on cassock, drag a lot of dollars into their own pockets. Dollar is everywhere. Ganduje can have access to it. And by the way, a former governor, is he limited from having dollars? But let us worry less about these things. If ever we should have man pressure on the industry, it is on Mr. President. Come up with policies and issues that will have positive impact on the people.
All right.
Those are the issues. Thank you so much. Emeka Njoku.
Emeka Njoku, thank you. Let's do a final call. Today, 95.1. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kelly.
Morning.
Mr. John from Port Harcourt.
Please go on.
Yes, about Tinubu appointing allegedly corrupt people as ministers. Nobody should be surprised of Tinubu appointing the people as appointed. That's the people that, in fact, there is hardly any politician in Nigeria that doesn't have any one corruption charge on him or the other. But that doesn't mean that it has been proven in the law court or they have been convicted. So as our law says, they remain innocent until they have been proven guilty by the law court. And coming to say that Tinubu bullion van and all, no bullion van. Just as you were asking someone, is their money missing? Did Lagos State tell you that their money is missing? Lagos State did not tell you that their money is missing. Therefore, and Lagos State have not prosecuted him for carrying bullion van or no bullion van. So it is not in our place to say, their money is, Lagos State money is missing. And Tinubu has not held any other position apart from Lagos State as the Lagos State governor, as a senator. These are the two positions he has, public office he has held so far. So let us not be crucifying the man for just no justice. If you say perception, then every other person that have corruption issues on their head, we should also perceive them as corrupt, including our former governor here. But we are not doing that because they have not been convicted yet by any law court. So let's not leave one person and be pointing hand at the other person. They all have stains in their name because of perception.
All right.
So that is where I want to come in. Let us not be selective when we want to exonerate some people.
It's all right. Thank you so much for reaching out. I'd like us to let's take some of your messages now. We took some messages via Facebook. Let's see if we can take some via WhatsApp and then SMS at this time. Looking out for those messages as we see them drop. We'll take as many as possible before we go. Okay, while this is loading, let me take the views of our guests. We'll come to the messages in a moment. Maybe we'll just close with that. It's 7 days officially passed now. The government is silent. The silence is very suspicious. The coup leaders in Nigeria report. We heard that the team, forgive me for veering off, Abdusalami, Mohammed Abubakar the third, they didn't even leave the airport. They said they got off the plane, they put them in a room.
Yeah, their conference rooms.
They had a conversation with them.
A lounge.
They made efforts to speak with the leaders of the junta. The military officials on ground refused them. And after a while, they got back on the jet and returned to the country about 1 a.m. on Friday morning. Niger continues to show that they are defiant. They're not afraid of anyone, and they will not change and restore democracy in Niger. So the silence is it's more than 7 days since that big statement, that conference. We've not heard anything. We have military build-up around the borders. People talk of the implication. Senators have equally come out to say, Mr. President, don't use military. Look for other diplomatic ways of resolving this impasse. Do you expect the president to listen to the many calls now for the use of diplomatic channels in addressing this impasse? Architect Bosimo.
It should not have taken somebody to tell him. I think the progress and process of approaching what happened there should have been less precipitate and hasty to be threatening military force. It was completely unnecessary, and I would say he has got a soft landing by the Senate being the ones now he can point a finger to. The borders are literally artificial. Brethren live among brethren on those places. Because we have one wavering line at the top of somewhere in the north, you think you are separating villages. You are not. So to say you want to take a brother to go and fight a brother because somebody in one place said this person is against you, I think it was impractical in the first place. But yes, the president is going to embrace the Senate's statement, embrace it with both hands and hold it steadily.
That's what you expect.
And that is exactly what will happen. That arena is not where Nigeria should go and bandy around. Just because we have military and economic might doesn't mean you should dabble into a place where you were not invited. They didn't ask Nigeria's permission to do a coup. We should watch ourselves and take care of local problems. We have problems in Nigeria. The president should face the problems that he has been announcing, causing issues for Nigeria, solve the issues here. That is where we measure him, not whatever he does in any other country.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment.
Officer, take. Officer, give me number. No time. Ma dey match am, they go.
What? You bribing the officer of the law? You're under arrest.
Cultism is a monster whose ravaging effects have left tales of woes such as loss of lives, kidnapping, drug abuse, threats, destruction of properties, blackmail, rape, and many other ills in society. In our society today, poor parental training, peer pressure, poverty, quest for power and social identity are the leading factors that contributes to youths indulging in this act. Again, peace can be restored to our society only and only if we attach value to human lives. And this would bring about rapid development to our community. Say no to cultism. This message is brought to you by Today95.1 FM, voice of the people.
You know what? Put that down now. I go match on that. Oh yeah, give me that thing. Come on, give me the phone. Give me that thing. Oh yeah, that police take over.
Insecurity has become a common factor in our general language within the Nigerian space, no doubt. Not only has it become a threat, it has begun taking diverse dimension we cannot ignore. A solution we seek. A desire to stop the trend is imminent.
Wait up, 2 seconds.
God, hey, Jesus. Straight bullet, though, what kind of country is this? A boy, I just said to go and buy something, what kind of thing is straight bullet from where? I'm finished, though.
Directly or indirectly, we all have lost people, friends, family, or acquaintances as a result of insecurity. But is security only the job of the government? No, security is not one man's job alone. Every individual in the society has a role to play in order to achieve a secure society. We urge citizens and indigents to adhere and respect the laws of the state, report irregular activities to the authorities, and we implore security agencies to carry out their duties as stipulated by the Constitution and not infringe on the rights of citizens. If we work together, we can build the Nigeria of our dreams. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
All right, we thank you for staying with us. We'll take the views of 3 other members of the panel on the coup, but that will be when we close. Let's now take your messages. and then we'll make progress from there. What's up? Let's begin from there. ECOWAS silent as ultimatum to Niger junta expires. Good morning, all in the studio. I advise ECOWAS leadership to use dialogue in this matter rather than military force. For the ECOWAS chairman, Mr. Tinubu, he should understand that the people of Niger are even happy with the development. I repeat, dialogue to me is the best. Nicholas Erasmus, thank you for reaching out. Hi, Kelly. Why is Tinubu taking paracetamol in Niger headache? The Niger citizens are happy and jubilating. Tinubu and his so-called ECOWAS are crying wolf. It's unfortunate. The democracy the Europeans brought to Africa failed from the beginning. It's not working here. To me, I prefer military to this charade called democracy, where only a set of politicians reach from one position to another, while the poor are getting poorer on a daily, and Tinubu and Buhari. Okay. Democracy means equity, justice, and fairness, where resources would be distributed equally, both inter- and intragenerational equity. Jerry, you sent that message. Thank you so much. All this energy Nigeria is using on a sovereign state like Niger should be channeled to solve our economic problem. I beg. Now who chop, they make peace. So Christian Williams from Igbo Eche. Kelly, good morning, and good morning to everyone. Tell the lawyers that Saraki, as a sitting Senate president, was arraigned in court and was docked for a number of times just because he was an opposition. If we want to be sincere, Akpabio and Ganduje can be investigated and possibly arraigned despite whatever immunity, either parliamentary or governmental. John Peters. Thank you, John Peters, for reaching out. Good morning, Kelly and the guests. First of all, which Nigerian court will find these politicians guilty? Not with this weak institution we have here. Secondly, this word allegedly is one of the reasons why we're where we are today. Chinemerem George from RGP State, thank you for reaching out. Good morning, everyone. Ministerial nomination. Why wouldn't there be controversy in the nominee certificate when everything about their master is all in secrecy and controversy? My understanding of Nigerian government and democracy is government of alleged corrupt individuals by the corrupt few for the corrupt few. What is the face of Nigeria in the international community with these current leaders? Anyway, Nigeria will celebrate failure and impunity. So, Kelly, please join us in celebrating 1 week of total blackout in Igruta. Wow. Mr. Daniel from Igruta. 1 week. Oh, I can't imagine. David from Oibo, please. All right. Thank you for reaching out. Don't waste your data. Hi, Kelly. Good morning and happy new week. On the issue of Festus Keyam's ministerial appointment, we didn't talk about that. We just mentioned him, that he was celebrating. Okay, I asked the question. Okay. For me, Festus Keyam's ministerial appointment is an afterthought because Festus Keyam's name was not in the list of Bola Tinubu's ministerial appointment. Thank God, ability at Twebu. You sent that message. All right, let's go to the SMS portal now and take some of those messages at this time. Quite a few. Okay. This is not for us. This is for another program. So this should be for us then. Nigerian citizens are happy with the military took option for economic suicide matter to invest heavily on both ministers and commissioners without being conscious to address the basic problems. The talks of democracy in this country is self-enriching and corrupting. Why these leaders don't want these leaders don't want to conciliate our worries. It's faulty indeed. The people in particular are not really breathing at all. No sense of being in government and total independence. MC Nexus, thank you for reaching out. Senate and Northern senators reject. I didn't bring this story. You just added the Northern senators. Okay, let me take it because you added it, but the Senate is there. Tinubu must be unhappy with Akpabio now for not approving his request because he expected him to say and do as Lawan said and did. That anything the president brings, we the Senate will approve. Tinubu reacts before thinking and planning. Mr. Law, that's your position. Kanu, Kelly, it's within your right to protect your station and job. All right, thank you so much. Let's move on. Kanu. ECOWAS and Nigeria are making noise as usual. They can't send the military to Niger Republic because there would be more losses than gains if the war were to begin. Enobong Joe sent that message. More fatal mistakes will be done. Therefore, I put it to ECOWAS and all involved. Please let this topic of war stop now. Ezekiel Sate sent that message. Who is this? Onu Samuel. Onu Samuel, if you do it again, I'll be forced to do the same thing. All this energy, I think I read this message. Christian Williams, who took this message from WhatsApp, so let's move on. Take another one. Good morning, Kelly and Ogaima. Please, why is individual more powerful than institution in this country? I love Niger military. Felix in Woji. Good morning, Kelly, and all the dearly esteemed panelists in the studio. My name is David. Please, do you people expect the snake to appoint dogs as ministers? Okay, I guess we're being metaphoric. So let's move on. Mr. President should not stay in this country and deal with the diseases that dwells in its kingdom. So the Nigerian military will be used as scapegoats. Let him handle the broken mirror and take note of the scars in our heart. Other issues that can take up other persons, say mercenaries that can take up the job. Chinedu from Igruta. Okay. All right. So let's come back to members of the guests. Let's take the views of Mr. Emmanuel Ndukwe. The good question was, do you see the president sticking, whether he likes it or not, with what the Senate and many other Nigerians have said? Military option, no. Look for diplomatic ways of resolving the impasse.
Well, you see, he can only act as he wants. If he decides to ignore them, he can still mobilize his troops to go. But I tell you...
And nothing will happen.
Well, what will happen will only be political disputation at home. Senators may be frowning upon. And I see, our legislators cannot frown rigidly. They can only frown, and their frown will be very fluid. You can stop at any time, and then something like honey could pass under the table, and all of them will, the thing will fizzle out. You see, Kelly, if Nigeria makes that move, there's going to be a problem for Nigeria. Already Nigeria, I told you this thing, the analogy I gave the other day, maybe you didn't understand it. Look at Nigeria is in this form. The two hands are full. And they want to climb the palm tree, which is Niger Republic. If they make any effort, they cannot. And if they squeeze themselves and make any effort with the two loads they are carrying on both hands, they will fall down. See, Niger, when they make that, gave that threat, what did the junta tell them? That they should not come. They should start focusing on their internal problem alone. Nigeria is having all these big brother Africa carrying problems here and there. Meanwhile, money they don't have, as they said. Now, what do they think they can reap from this kind of thing when they are... In fact, if they manage, maybe some people come and follow them who are not carrying load in both hands. They carry... As soon as they reach the top of that palm tree, both themselves that are helping and the real Nigeria that is Tinubu representing the entire country, all of them will fall down from that place. Nigeria will not succeed in this. You have your house, you pursue your wife, and somebody is coming to tell you, with all authority, you must marry this woman. Who is that person? Do you think that person will last long? No. So Nigeria should be very careful. I have said it. Tinubu should diplomatically resolve, because what he's just doing is, he is the chairman of ECOWAS, he won't keep quiet. But Niger is a sovereign nation. Okay. If they do coup, it is in Niger. If they don't do coup, it is in Niger, not Nigeria.
Pastor Wadi.
Well, if I think at this point the president needs a wise counsel and wisdom profited. If you look at what Solomon, when God was asking Solomon for whatever he needs, he said wisdom. Wisdom is there are avalanche of thoughts. People have been coming out to. It will be very difficult for us to go to this war. First, you need the two-third majority of the Senate. Then the delegates of the ECOWAS delegates will have to vote. And secondly, who are these members in the assembly? Do they have anything? How many of them are ready to fund this war? And they are queuing in at the back of Nigeria. When was the last time in 1974, there is a man, the first coup that took place was led by one Kachao Sanere. And that coup, stood. After some time, we heard about the Tanja. He was equally killed. In 2010, the same thing took place in Niger. If you look at the influx of coup, it's been the trajectory. And when you traverse the length and breadth of the coup in Niger, you will see that the people are populated by their Hausa-speaking people. And of course, you can't take away the fact. It's like what is going on in Ukraine. Ukraine was part of, when they were part of USSR in those days, the armament was in Ukraine. Everything was in Ukraine. And after the war, the USSR, the whole thing remained in Ukraine. And that is why it's difficult for Russia to defeat Ukraine. Because part of those that are in Russia, in Ukraine, are speaking Russia. They are of Russian descent. They are just one. Okay. It's a solidarity war. Okay. So what is going to happen is that when you say Sahel, where are the people in Sahel? You have Sokoto, part of Nigeria is part of Sahel. So where are you going from? The Hausa people. What will happen is that innocent people with the porosity of the border will suffer so much. There is a militant group called their acronym is LMNI. They are even worse than Boko Haram. They have been in Niger for quite some time. And this man is saying, look, Tichani Omar, the man that took over the Parley School, is saying, look, if Nigeria comes in, we are going to release LMNI. So it means that we are not even safe. Boko Haram is one side. And part of what you're seeing today that is turning the tide of violence is as a result of they've been joining to ensure that Boko Haram doesn't cross. So there will be a lot of solidarity. Chad has given them, Burkina Faso has equally told Nigeria that they will be part of this war to fight against Nigeria. So we will begin to kill our giants once we go to Niger. So secondly, remember,
for the sake of time,
we are no more producing weapons. So Egypt and South Africa, they are even the giants. So do we even have submarine? So how many of the Tokanos are ready to work?
Military option ruled out.
For me, in fact, I invoke my spirit to be in the heart of my friend Tinubu. Let him not go at all, please. Let's use that money for conference and all that.
Sadly, you have the shortest time, 60 seconds left to go.
I want to differ from
you're away from your mic.
I want to differ from the general opinion of millions of Nigerians.
That's all right.
And Africans. You see, let me tell you. You see, from what I've seen so far, it's like one, the committee called ECOWAS will be weakened by this because of this cacophony of voices of dissenting opinion that there should not be war, or maybe ECOWAS should not go to war with Niger. I don't know what that means. Secondly, is that Nigeria as a country is being put in a very precarious situation. Why is Niger pointing fingers only at Nigeria, not to invade? Why Nigeria is not the only country in the ECOWAS sub-region. Because Tinubu is the chairperson of ECOWAS does not mean that Nigeria is going to war with Niger. Okay. That misconception is what is bothering me. Okay. Number three, is just go of time, I would have explained. Number three is that it shows that a very bad precedent is being set.
All right.
In the sense that some other young boys from other countries might come up and take over their top poor governments in their country, and based on what is flowing right now, they rely on that.
We have
number four.
No, we don't have the time.
Okay, no time.
We're out of time.
All right.
Asim Adams, Esquire, constitutional lawyer, rights activist. Thank you, sir.
God bless you. Thank you very much.
Wodi Chiminem, Esquire, legal advisor, Pandef Obiakpo chapter, and a voice for Ekinebo clan of Apara people of Obiakpo. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for bringing me.
Architect Ebi Bozimo, fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Architects and certified project manager. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Pleasure and privilege are always mine. Do have a wonderful day.
And Mr. Emmanuel Indukwe, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Thank you, Nigerians.
That's our bit. Kelly Kemejma is my name. The world news at the top of the hour. Have yourselves a great day. See you tomorrow. Good morning.
Port Harcourt. Are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Did you know that there are over 8 million listeners connected to our frequency, covering 6 states across 2 geopolitical zones? Take advantage of our reach and advertise your products, services, events, and businesses on Today 95.1 FM. Get value for your money as millions of people get to know about your business. Give us a call now on 0818-389-2850. Again, 0818-389-2850.
Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered on air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
This is Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Good to have you. Good afternoon. This is World News on your premium talk radio Today, 95.1 FM. And the headlines: Advocacy group accuses government of neglecting riverine communities in provision of transport palliatives. Rivers State Government Flood Management Committee calls on residents in 12 flood-prone local government areas to move to higher ground. Former Lagos Governor Babatunde Fashola denies drafting judgment for Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. On the foreign scene, Italy urges ECOWAS to extend its deadline for reinstatement of Niger's ousted president. I am Lucky Maxwell. The Youth and Environmental Advocacy Center in Nigeria has frowned at the exclusion of riverine communities in the petrol subsidy removal palliative free transport scheme across the country by government at all levels. The executive director of YEC Nigeria, Fineface Dunamene, made this known in an interview while reacting to President Bola Tinubu's recent announcement of investment of 100 billion naira of 20-seater buses to mitigate the removal of subsidy. Dunamene told Today FM Sandra Kenneth that it is worrisome that boats were not provided for people living in the riverine parts of the country. He also described the 17 buses provided by the River State government as inadequate for Port Harcourt.
The Youth and Environmental Advocacy Center, YEAC Nigeria, has frowned at the exclusion of riverine community people by governments at all levels in the fuel subsidy removal palliative free transport schemes across the country, especially in the Niger Delta and South geopolitical zone. Many and Niger Delta have also either provided or considering to provide buses for mass transport schemes to cushion the effects of subsidy removal on the masses, but none has thought of those of our people living in the riverine communities who also needed these for ease of transportation. The 17 buses of the River State government as inadequate for the population of the city and did not also provide free boats for riverine community dwellers to.
Fineface explained that water transportation is more expensive than land, stressing that petrol cost higher in riverine communities due to the presence of a few filling stations.
To come to our rescue, so back on hold. See, further notice, let us see if we can also ship small ground. At least even if it's 200 naira, just to offload passenger there, and it will be very, very justifiable.
Recall that last week, commercial drivers threatened to withdraw their services for 1 week until the issue of double taxation and harassment is reduced, calling on the state government to intervene.
We can no longer accept being forced into submission to buy unauthorized levy worth 3,500 at Eleme Junction by some group of boys that recruited themselves for exploitation on commercial drivers operating from Oyibo to Abalepa. We have come on air severally for the government to intervene, but no attention. This resists the exploitation from the unauthorized levies. We can no longer bear
an end to crude oil theft, pipeline vandalism and chemical fishing, which have Karagbe and members of the communities in a joint effort with local vigilante intercepted 4 wooden boats loaded with over 715,000 liters of crude oil and apprehended 4 occupants of the boat around Wellheads 1 and 2 in OML 25 Belema Flow Station in Kula, Akokotoro.
I will continue to support my country. I will support companies operating in the... The Amama soldiers with the community surveillance to ensure we cut off anything, bunker activities, in Kola and in agricultural local government area of Rivers State. And those who are behind these bunkering activities will never in their lifetime come to this river again.
The youth president of Kula Kingdom, Emine Ayeritamono Prim, and other community leaders who spoke on the development expressed their willingness to assist relevant authorities to bring an end to the illegal activities.
With the help of the Amama soldiers, like Asare soldiers, and the national president of Nigeria, and I'm using this medium to advise our youth that they should resist from the illegal
and to security agencies. The Nigerian Navy has busted an alleged oil refining depot in Yanagwa, Bayelsa State, where about 35,000 liters of illegally stored crude oil was discovered. While the suspects are on the run, the buildings used for refining have now been sealed by Operation Delta Safe in the state. Addressing newsmen after the operation, said the team will not relent in its efforts to rid the area of criminals whose activities are harmful to the nation's economy.
The commander Operation Delta Safe directed a snap raid on a facility around Tamara Street, Yogolok, Bayelsa, which is being used as a reservoir for illegally refined products. And on reaching here, it was discovered.
This is the World News on Today 95.1 FM. We'll be right back after this short break.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Many thanks for staying tuned. Now the rest of the news. The federal government says it has opened preparatory talks with the 36th state over an enhanced minimum wage. It says the outcome of the discussions will guide the Minimum Wage Review Committee on working out a new wage for workers. Media aide to President Bola Tinubu, Ajuri Ngelale, revealed this yesterday. He said this is part of the moves to mitigate the spike in inflation following the removal of petrol subsidy and the unification of exchange rate. He, however, said that the government is not in favor of a 100% pay rise for workers. On palliatives for the withdrawal of petrol subsidy, Ngelale reassured that President Tinubu would keep faith with all the plans rolled out for Nigerians. The immediate past Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has vehemently denied the allegation that he was involved in drafting the judgment for the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal judges. Fashola, who described the allegation as baseless and defamatory, also urged the relevant security agencies to investigate the claims against him and take actions against the masterminds. In a statement by his media advisor, Hakim Bello, Fashola said he has been away from Abuja for an extended period of time, rendering the claims entirely unfounded. The Lagos State government has suspended the general manager of the Lagos State Infrastructure and Asset Management Agency, Adenike Adekombi. The decision followed the recommendation by the panel earlier set up to investigate the circumstances that surrounded the death of Vaire Diaso, a medical doctor. Diaso was trapped in a faulty elevator that crashed at the doctor's staff quarters last week at the Lagos General Hospital, Odon. La Siama is the agency that oversees the activities of the facility management company in charge of the staff quarters where the young intern died. The acting Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Bashiru Adeneye, has warned against any compromise in Benin Republic, Cameroon, and other borders following the closure of entries into Niger Republic. Following the military coup in Niger, Adeneye also directed that any transit goods through the customs territory should be stopped if they are headed to Niger Republic. Nigeria had shut its land borders with Niger Republic as part of measures against the military junta in the West African country. Adeneye noted that criminals in an attempt to break or smuggle arms into Niger Republic may explore other land borders like that of Benin Republic and Cameroon. He called on customs and other security operatives manning the borders to be alert and vigilant to wage war against any attempt to jeopardize national security. On the foreign scene, Italy has urged the Economic Community of West African States to extend its deadline for the reinstatement of Niger's ousted president. Italian Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani gave the advice in an interview, stressing that the only way out is diplomatic one. Niger closed its airspace yesterday until further notice over the reported threat of military intervention from the West African Regional Bloc. The threat was reported after coup leaders rejected a deadline to reinstate the country's ousted President Mohamed Bazoum, who is still being detained. In sport, Nigeria have been knocked out of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup after losing 4-2 to England on penalties. The Lionesses progressed to reach the quarterfinals of the Women's World Cup after the last 16 tie finished 0-0 at the end of extra time at the Brisbane Park. Desire Oparanozie and Michelle Alozie missed their spot kicks during the penalty shootout. Chloe Kelly scored the winning kick to take European champions England, who had Lauren James sent off in normal time, through to a last 8 tie against Colombia or Jamaica. In entertainment, Hollywood's pink wave has yet to crest as Warner Bros. Barbie dominated for a third straight weekend in North American theaters, pushing the film's global haul past $1 billion. The Greta Gerwig directed blockbuster starring Margot Robbie as iconic doll Barbie and Ryan Gosling as boyfriend Ken earned a projected $53 million for the Friday through Sunday period for a domestic total of $459 million. Not only has Barbie thus become the first movie directed solely by a woman to pass the $1 billion mark, but it did so faster than any film, including those directed by men in Warner Bros. 100-year history. To end the news, as a summary of the major stories. An advocacy group, the Youth and Environmental Advocacy Center in Nigeria, have accused government of neglecting riverine communities across Nigeria in the provision of transport palliatives. You heard that the Rivers State Government Flood Management Committee has called on people who live in the 12 flood-prone local government areas in the state to move to higher ground. You also heard that the former Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has denied drafting judgment for the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal judges. On the foreign scene, we told you that Italy has urged the Economic Community of West African States to extend its deadline for the reinstatement of Niger's ousted president, Prince Ajubo. Editor the news. For comment and inquiries, please call 0818-389-2850. Send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. I am Lucky Maxwell. Good afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Are you tired of paying rent? Wouldn't you like to own a house of your own? Stress no further, because with just 5 million naira, you can become a proud owner of a 2-bedroom apartment and 4-bedroom smart terrace duplexes in a serene environment within GRA. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. With just 5 million naira down payment, you can say bye-bye to house rent issues. Why not start today by investing in any of our off-plan project and spread the balance within a year and 6 months? Wow! So what are you waiting for? Activate your access to luxury living by dialing 0913-888-8892 or 0706-282-4485. Don't forget, you can also invest in any of our landed properties in different locations. Pay us a visit today at Odibola House, Yenwali Surim Layout, Tumbia Extension, GRA Phase 3, Port Harcourt, or online via www.odibolaproperties.com. Follow us on social media and win big in our Big Fridays giveaway. Facebook at Odibola Property, IG Odibola Properties, and Twitter Odibola Properties.
Cultism is a monster whose ravaging effects have left tales of woes such as loss of lives, kidnapping, drug abuse, threats, destruction of properties, blackmail, rape, and many other ills in society. In our society today, poor parental training, peer pressure, poverty, quest for power and social identity are the leading factors that contribute to youths indulging in this act. Again, peace can be restored to our society. Only and only if we attach value to human lives. And this would bring about rapid development to our community. Say no to cultism. This message is brought to you by Today95.1 FM, voice of the people.
Officer, take. Officer, give me number. No time. Ma dey match am, dey go.
What? You bribing the officer of the law? You're under arrest. Let me see your papers. You can go. They're in order. Drive safe, okay?
I don't understand though. No be the same country again. Officer reject bribe. Mona wake me. They arrest me yesterday. That yesterday. I go do my papers. See as I pass now. I pass without fear. You too. Make you do wetin dey right. For we country to better, it dey for we hand. If you like, do like say you no hear am. To give or to take bribe na offense.
Una don hear am, abi? You hear am too, abi? You hear am. You hear am well. They themselves, they hear am. Now the voice of the people. Now him bring this message give now. Today 95.1 FM. Now we be the voice of the people.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about.
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM. The station with a unique dial.